Oh. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and I think we are having issues with the sound. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on a minute. I think we having technical difficulties with the sound. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on a minute, y'all. Hold on, y'all. What is going on with my sound? Hold on. Allie, can you put a one in the chat? Yeah, what's going on? I don't think that you guys can hear me. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what happened. Oh, you can hear me. All right, I'm sitting here like I didn't think that that you can hear me, so that's why I was just standing here. So what? I just have to edit the first part of the video out. So what's up, y'all? This it's your girl Survivor Speaks, and we are back today with with another reading of the P Diddy transcripts, and it's this is when I tell y'all buckle up and hold on to your seats, um, because this is the reading. We're still on day one, but this is actually the testimony um of the escort that was in the room the day that Cassie was assaulted. And I just want to welcome everybody to the show. Welcome everybody that is on over here on YouTube. If you could just hit the like button. So for everyone that is watching on X, I appreciate you for stopping through and checking in today. We are actually going to just be live streaming on YouTube. So Ali, if you can drop the YouTube link in the chat. And you guys, if you want to come over and join us over here on YouTube, you can. Um, I definitely would appreciate that. And you can hit the like button on the way in. over here for a free way to support the channel. All right. And so not going to turn it off just yet. And I do appreciate the people that watch over on X, formerly known as Twitter. But today I've spoken to the team and we have decided that's how we're going to do it for today. Um, all right. And so we're going to have Mr. Daniel Phillip up next on the stand. As I stated, he is the escort that was in the room the day that Cassie was assaulted. All righty. And so trying to bring my document over here because we're going to get started sooner than later today. Get through these documents as I stated. You just dropped it. Thank you so much, Allie. And if you can advise them, if they wanted to, they can just come over here to that, click the link, and it'll bring them right over here to YouTube. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into the reading. I do appreciate you. Let me just make sure that yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just need to check one thing, but we're going to get right into it here. All right, so we're only over here on YouTube. Right about now, we're going to get started here. And so I made sure that the document was documenting. Right. So I mean, if they want to come over, they can come over, but we're just, as you know, we are like conducting a little test just to see, how this is going to work out or whatever. But we're going to get right into it. So now they're going to call the government has called Daniel Phillip to the stand. And Allie, if you could go over there and because what I'm seeing here, the number that I'm seeing here is well, I guess it's going to be just the number that it was altogether because they really be representing over there on Twitter, formerly known as X. But if they want to, they can, come over here to YouTube today. We'll see how this works out. Other than that, let's go. So Daniel Phillip is on the stand. I'm hoping that, oh, you know what? Hold on one minute, y'all. I keep forgetting. Keep forgetting. I mean, life has just been life. And it's been like a real live weekend out here. Live week for your girl survivor speak. I didn't even share this to I didn't even share this to I mean it's been I didn't even share this to on Instagram. Hold on a minute, y'all. I just want to put it over there just in case. Somebody, people want to come over and join. And I meant to do that earlier, but my mind is like I post on Instagram, but I post and leave. I mean, sometimes I scroll, but I'm trying to get out of that. Going over there and just because you scrolling and if you or I have so much going on, it's just you can get stuck. So I have really not been on Instagram, but to scroll on through. Post something if I feel like posting it. Inspiration people are going through and they need it, and it's something stuff that I look for myself that is inspiration to me, and I may share it with others. So that's what I did today. over there. I shared something this morning. It was inspirational to me. And then, as far as this goes, I didn't share this link over there or on my TikTok. So let me just go ahead before I get started. Mm, 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 mm. So, mm, mm, mm. Shout out to Mookmarv Music Inc. for the music you hear playing behind the video. Um, he also created, engineered, and produced the beat behind the outro that I play. So, oh, I'm glad I didn't hit send because that's not how you spell that word. All right, and so all right, let me just share this. We're gonna get right into the docs. Give me one moment, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Lord. All right. All right. So now we over here on. Hold on. So um. All right. So this is gonna be. Yes. Good morning. Oh, Cash Money Cash. I'll look at that later. All right. So this is going to be the first escort testimony. It's Daniel Phillip. So let's get right into it. So the deputy clerk says, "Thank you." I'm sorry. Let me say hello to the people that are in the chat. So far, Allie is the only one that stepped out and said that she's in the chat. But if you are here, please hit the like button. I don't know if it's still playing on Twitter, but it's showing that it's. I don't know why it's showing that it is. I thought I said it and then moved it. Okay, so anyway, so the thank you. You may be seated. The court says, "All right, Miss Comey, you may proceed, Miss Comey." Thank you, Your Honor. Um, Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Would you please state and spell your name for the record? Daniel Phillip. That's DanielPhillip. How old are you? I am 41. How far did you go in school? I did some college. I would like to direct your attention to the period around approximately 2012 and 2013. During that time, what were you doing for work? I was managing a male review show. What is a male review show? Male strippers for women. In what city? New York. From where else did you receive money in approximately 2012? From Cassie Ventura, Cassandra Ventura. Can we please pull up what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 2A 401? Mr. Phillip, do you recognize the person in that photograph? Yes. Who is that? That is Cassandra Ventura or Cassie. What did Cassie Ventura give you money for in around 2012 to have eggs with her? So Okay, so everybody that's watching on YouTube already knows that we can't certain words that we can't use. So for the word smecks or egg, we're gonna say eggs. That's yeah, yeah. You'll get it and know what it is. Who else was present when you had let's say yeah, um, who else was present when you had X with Miss Ventura in exchange for money? Sean Combs. Um, Can we now please pull up what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 28-101? Do you recognize the person in that photograph? Yes. Who is that? Sean Combs. We could take that down. Thank you, Miss Gavin. About when did you first meet Miss Ventura? I'm estimating, but probably 2012 or 13. Through whom did you first meet Miss Ventura? Through my boss. What did your boss tell you? He contacted me one evening and told me that he couldn't find any of our black dancers, which was what was requested. So he asked me if I would mind going down to fulfill an order to have a dancer go down to the Gramercy Park Hotel for a bachelorette party. How did you respond? I told him I would do it. To what location did your boss send you? To the Gramercy Park Hotel. Where's that hotel located? In Mercy Park, downtown Manhattan. What were you expecting to do at the Gramercy Park Hotel? I was expecting to go do a little strip tease, and that was it. Just for a bachelorette party, a group of women, and then leave. At what time of day did you arrive at the Gramercy Park Hotel? Probably sometime after midnight. So nighttime, nighttime. What happened when you arrived at the Gramercy Park Hotel? When I arrived, Cassie opened the door and she asked me if I was okay if it was just going to be us. Oh wow. Because I was expecting to see a group of women there, but there was only her standing in the door, and she asked me to come into the room. We were standing in like a foyer, and she basically said it was her birthday and that her husband wanted to do something special for her, and so she asked me if I would mind. Lord, they're getting right on into it. For always, I'm so happy to see that you are here. Thank you so much for coming. We just got started, so you didn't miss much. I had scheduled it for 5, and then I had uh, got done early and scheduled it for 5:30, but Mac decided that they were going to update the system, so I thought it was best to just update it now, so just to alleviate any issues. So we're just starting. So thank you for being here. For always, because for always holds me down. Sometimes I'll be stuck, chemo fog brain and all, and everything that's going on. Sometimes I'll be looking for a word for always be on it. So thank you for coming on for always. So this is the male escort for always, just to bring you up to speed. And he's on the stand. And yeah, Daniel Phillip. All right, so let's get right back into the reading. So Cassie, she asked me if I would mind rubbing baby oil on her and giving her a massage. Let's get right into it. Why don't we? No need to no need to tarry. Would you rub some baby oil on me and give me a massage? This is a special treat for my husband. Listen, not even murdered. And wherever things went from there, if based on how comfortable I was. Let me ask you some follow-up questions. Sure. Did you know her name at that moment? No. Did you later learn her name? Yes. And what did you later learn her name was? Cassandra Ventura. And what did you call her during your later interactions? C. When she first opened the door and invited you just inside the door, what was Miss Ventura wearing? She was wearing lingerie, like a red lace outfit with high heels, a red wig. Lord, not a red wig, and some sunglasses, dark sunglasses. And after Miss Ventura told you about her husband being there and baby oil, what, if anything, did she give you when you were in that entryway of the hotel room? She asked me if I objection, rephrase the question. After telling you what she wanted that evening, what did Miss Ventura say next? She told me that first off, that I didn't have to worry about anything because her husband wasn't gay. Y'all, excuse me for some of the pauses, but yeah, it just blows my mind when okay, so I remember her saying that to me, and he wasn't going to try to touch me or anything. And I told her that's good because I wasn't with that. And then she told me that she knew that my boss told her that. She objection, Your Honor, is not offered for the truth, just to provide context for the statement coming next. That's overruled. Continue. The court says you may continue. Oh, okay. She told me that she knew that my boss had told her that she had to give me 200 upon arrival. And at that point, she gave me a few $1,000s and said that at the end she would tip me when I'm leaving before I'm leaving. For all, but you said she didn't say that. um, After she handed you cash, what part of the hotel room did you go into with Miss Ventura? We went into the main living room area. What kind of hotel room was this room? So this is it can't be because that video happened at the Intercontinental. So yeah, but this is supposed to be. I remember the first escort is supposed to be from. It was the person that was in the Intercontinental. So let us read. Let's see what happens. I may have to. All right. So Um, what kind of hotel room was this room? I believe it was a suite. What did the living room area look like when you walked into it that night? It had like velvet couches straight ahead, and it opened up into a big living room. And there was a table in front of the couch, and there were candles that were lit all over the table. Yeah, and and then the rest of the room was dark. What else, if anything, did you see on the table? Um, there were bottles of baby oil and Astroglide, which is a lubricant. Who else did you see in the living room when you walked into it? There was a man sitting on the right side of the room. If I was facing him to the back of the room, what was the man wearing? A white robe with a bandana over his face and like a baseball cap on his head. He didn't want nobody to see nothing but his eyes. Come on, Diddy. Okay, so what part of this man's face was the bandana covering? Up, his nose down. So were you able to see his face clearly? No. How, if at all, did Miss Ventura refer to the man in the room as Babe? Did you later learn who that man was? I did. And what did you learn about that? Well, if you're asking when did I realize who he was, sure. As soon as he spoke to me, oh Lord. He said he knew who Diddy was as soon as he spoke to him. Yo, that is wild. That's funny, y'all. I'm sorry. That is hilarious. Soon as he spoke to him, he knew exactly who he was. Diddy, you wasn't fooling nobody but yourself. Do you hear me? He said, I knew who he was as soon as he spoke. How are you going to be as large as uh, Diddy was and think that nobody was going to realize who you were once you started talking? That is crazy work. Crazy. Okay, let's go, y'all. So, so when he spoke to you, whose voice did you recognize? That was Sean Combs. Had you heard Sean Combs' voice before? Yes. Everybody heard his voice. In what context, in every form I've ever seen him in entertainment? Did you later see his face uncovered at a later date? I did, yes. Now, that first night, what did you and Mr. Combs say to each other? Not much. I complimented the room, the hotel that we were in, and I asked him what he did for a living. Oh, he played dumb. Oh, he said he was playing stupid. He said, and he told me that he was in importing and exporting. Y'all, I hope, because girl, scale back. Don't say what you were getting ready to say, because it might not go well. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yo, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not even going to I'm not going to do any commentary on what he just said. Lord help us. He said he was in importing and exporting. So that was the first conversation we had. And then as I was getting ready to leave the hotel, he spoke to me again and told me that I guess he had some trouble with my boss. Objection. Mr. Phillips, we'll talk about that conversation later. Okay. Let's focus now on when you first entered the room and when you first started interacting with Mr. Combs. After you had that brief conversation with him, what did you and Miss Ventura do? He said, take that. I cannot. We ended up having eggs. Eggs. I'm gonna have to find another word. Cause listen, I'm gonna have to find another word besides eggs. All right, I got to think about it. We ended up having, I'm gonna just say relations. All right. When I say relations, relations is not relationship. Relations is adult relations. All right. And did I say this video is not for kids? So yeah, I have, even though I put it in the back, let me make sure that I check that off in the back. This ain't for kids. All right. You're watching this in your kids. In the next room. This is not for your child. Listen, this is not for kid ears. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. How about we do that one? Hold on, y'all. I need to do this real quick because why is this thing is bugging? Then yesterday I thought I did. Hold on 1 minute. I just have to fix something. I am so tired of these folks. Thought I fixed this yesterday. I'm sorry. I told y'all they flag all of my videos for my music, and it's ridiculous because it's mine, and YouTube is the one that created the page. But I think it's just AI that does a checking. So each time, unfortunately, I have to add this to a list, and I thought I did already. The video from yesterday. Just give me 1 second. I thought I did already put this dispute in. Hold on. They be playing. Stop playing with it. Okay. There we go. So let's get back to this. I was just checking over here for okay. So where were we? So let's focus now on when you first entered the room and when you first started interacting. Oh, so him we end up having smex is what he said. Smex, slex, anorex, whatever. I'm gonna find the adult relations before you and Miss Ventura had. Can we say intercourse? I'm gonna say intercourse. What, if anything, did you rub on each other? Hold on 1 second. I thought I did this already. All right. So, baby oil for about how long did that last? A couple minutes, and then what happened? And then I ended up having relations with her. What was Mr. Combs doing while you and Miss Ventura rubbed baby oil on each other? He was sitting in the corner. I'm sorry, y'all. He was sitting in the corner, pleasing himself, watching us. What was he doing while you and Miss Ventura were having relations? He was sitting in the corner, pleasing himself. About how long did the relations with Miss Ventura last that first time? Not long at all. And how did that pleasure encounter end? With me with me busting off. How about that? Now, will you two flag me for saying that? Like, would you flag me for saying that? But yeah, what if any protection were you wearing? I wasn't at the time. Wow, no protection. Wow. After you finished having relations with Miss Ventura, but before you left that hotel room, what if anything did she or Mr. Combs give you? Cassie gave me more money. I think it was a couple thousands more. Before you left the hotel room, after that first encounter, what do you remember Mr. Combs saying to you? He said that he had some issues with my boss at the time. And said that objection, Your Honor, it's an opposing party statement. Grounds for the objection. Hearsay, Judge. I didn't get that. It's the statement of the defendant. The court, first of all, I didn't hear you. Mr. Donaldson, I'm sorry, Judge. Hearsay. The court, okay, that's overruled. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Can you repeat for us what Mr. Combs said? He said he was having some issues with my boss at this time. I guess he was my boss, was being a bit aggressive. And he asked me if I would like to see them again, continue seeing them. And let me ask you, how did you respond to that? I said, sure. And he told Cassie to take my phone number, and she took my phone number, and that was that. After you gave them your phone number, where did you go? I left the hotel. I was getting ready to go home. And about how long after you left the hotel did you hear from them again? A few minutes after. So they called back a few minutes after. What happened? Cassie asked me if I would mind sending her a picture of my. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a drink early today. I'm sorry, but and this is not. It should be alcohol, but it's not. She asked him to send her. She asked me to send her a prick pic. Y'all put it together. Prick pic. What? Oh my goodness. So how did she contact you? Via my cell phone. How did you respond? I gave her a picture of. He sent the picture. Please take the wheel. What was the next communication you had with her? She asked me if I could come back upstairs and see her again. How did you respond? I went back upstairs to see her again. So where did you go back to? The same hotel room that we were in? And what was in the hotel room when you returned to it? The same two people, Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs. About how long were you in that hotel room this second time? A few hours. What do you remember happening over those few hours? The same thing. It was literally the same exact scene, basically. We rubbed baby oil on each other. We had relations again for longer this time, and then I was done. I do not recollect whether or not they gave me anything after that, money wise. What was what was Mr. Combs doing while you were having this encounter with Miss Ventura? He was pleasing himself in the corner. I could not take it. And what, if anything, do you remember him saying during this um, second encounter? At what point? While we were, yes. I don't know if I remember him saying anything. At the end of that encounter with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs, at that point when you left, did you know who Miss Ventura was? Yes. You're saying when I left the hotel the second time? Yes. No. When did you learn who she was? My boss looked her up and told me who she was. Approximately how many more times did you have relations with Miss Ventura in front of Mr. Combs for money? Whoa. Uh, well, I had relations with Cassie a few times after that. Did you ever meet Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs in person for any reason other than to have relations with Miss Ventura in front of Mr. Combs? Objection. Form of the question. You can rephrase the question. What was wrong with that question? I didn't see anything wrong with that question. But okay, I'm not an attorney, so but I mean, covering these, I didn't see anything wrong with that question, but okay. Every time, excuse me, so you can rephrase the question. Every time you met with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs, what was the purpose of the meeting? To have eggs with Cassie. In front of who? In front of Mr. Combs. I believe that they just made it worse. That's what I think. Y'all made this worse. Oh, you know what? I'm out. Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me do something really quick. I'll be right back with this. All right, let me go to. Hold on 1 second. Let me just see something. I'm trying to look at. Why is it not showing here? I don't even see your message over here on that you put over here on X. Allie. I don't know why it's not showing. It's not showing over there. I don't know. I don't see it though. Let me see. Let me see something. Yeah. All right. So I just turned it back on because I don't see the message that you put over there. I don't know why. I mean, it should still be there in the same spot, but I mean, because you put it in the live, but I don't see it. So I just turned it back on. So at some point, you could drop that link again. I don't know if the people look at what you're putting over there, but I don't see the message. I don't know if you go over there and you see it. Let me know. So we'll see. So approximately when was the last time you met in person with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? I'm estimating, but probably the end of 2013, early 2014. If you just came in the building, please hit the like button just in case you have to run. It's a free way to support the show. It's not going to tell us who you are. It will just count as a like and it shows engagement and will push the video out into the algorithm. So thank you so much. If you just entered the building, please hit the like button or the dislike button, thumbs up or thumbs down. Thank you. So approximately when was the last time you met in person with Miss Ventura? So he said, I'm estimating, but probably the end of 2013, early 2014. In what city did all of these meetings take place? New York. In what borough? Manhattan. At what location do you remember having these encounters with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? At what locations? Do you remember meeting? Oh, with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? Yeah, Yeah, so I should see it over here when you drop it again, because I saw it when you dropped it the first time, but when I went over there, I didn't see it. So that was the thing. That was okay. So the he had what locations? He said the Grand Mercy Park Hotel, the Jamira Essex House, Intercontinental. Okay, so yeah, his personal residence on 56th Street. Lord, they done put his personal residence. They done gave the street. Her personal residence on West End Avenue, and there may be more. I'm not remembering. But you know what? When you're in New York, right, and you are in these areas, you will not know that there is somebody famous living on these streets. I used to go to. I used to be a muse for. Muse is somebody that you know. You could be a muse in modeling. You can be a muse in not just in modeling for a lot of different things, but for the in the modeling world, I used to be a muse for oh my gosh, Fat Man Scoop's wife, and yeah, and I used to do some of my shoots are coming out of their brownstone, but on the rest of the people that lived on the block was on the street. It wasn't they wasn't somebody that was you know it's just like you see like your ordinary people like, or there may be rich people that live there, or people can afford. A lot of people sublease in New York, so like they'll have like an apartment and they'll sublease it to somebody else. They may not be charging them as much as whatever, but they just sublease it because it's not there. It's a way for them to take care of the house. But yeah, in New York, like somebody can be living on the street. You will never know that it's them. So just like he said when he went to the first hotel, Cassie was when he first got there for the first time, she had on the red wig, dark glasses and stuff like that. So that's how they are. Yeah, and yeah, you'll see them. Sometime you'll see them walking around. If some of them don't disguise themselves, but a lot of them do. Um, so it is a thing. Like so he's giving these streets like 56th Street, like it's not somewhere that you couldn't go as a like normal citizen. If you go, you go. And so like I was there like there. Fat Man Scoop, his brownstone was in Harlem, and so that was around the time where Harlem was well, Harlem had already been gentrified, so now you have all these people that are it's like Harlem is like prime real estate, especially in those areas, but you wouldn't you like would not believe. And he spent most of his time, a lot of his work was done over outside of the US. So internationally, he was like really really famous for doing work in Germany. But it was, you'd step aside like beautiful. I'm talking about 3 stories high, like just beautiful, beautiful, in the inside or whatever. Like I said, and that's just what it was. Most of the time when I would be there, like he would be gone like overseas and stuff like that. But if he was there, like they never made me feel like, oh well, I was modeling professionally. Let me just go ahead because because basically I was there to, you know, she needs to restart her clothing line. She has some dope clothes now, but she's doing something else right now. So anyway, um, so you said his personal residence. So were you referring to Mr. Combs, Sean Combs? And you said her personal residence. Who are you referring to? Cassie's residence. Ooh, she's trying to show them Cassie did not live with him. And where was that? Cassie lived on West End Avenue. I think number 10 West End Avenue. Is he going to just give out? I'm sure she doesn't live there anymore because, yeah. And then Sean Combs, I believe, he give ready to give out his whole government. Lord, I believe he lived at 210 West 56th Street at the time. So I do see I do see the comment now. Link to the channel is also dropped in the comments of this video. Brooklyn too. I came back after a year in DE and I was mad, like, why they didn't do this for us. So for always, yeah, I want to say my last photo shoot was the bees. I keep getting these two boroughs, like Dumbo is in Brooklyn. That was where my last photo shoot was, in a bed and breakfast. Right? Dumbo is in Brooklyn, right? Now, chat, let me see. My brain's so scrambled. Let me see. I think that was in Dumbo. I think Dumbo is in Brooklyn. Um, and Jay-Z references Dumbo. He referenced Dumbo on one of his tracks on 444, where he was giving out all this free information. Yeah, Brooklyn for $9.99. And it was a play on words where he said he could have bought a property in Dumbo. I forgot how many a million it was. He said that now the property is like triple the value. He says, how you think I'm feeling, Dumbo? Like he felt dumb. It's in Brooklyn. So there was a bread and breakfast owned by African American couple over there, and that's where I did my. That wasn't my last photo shoot. Well, my last photo shoot, uh, that was for somebody else. So that was the last time. Yeah, I did it in Brooklyn and it was beautiful over there. And then there was another model shooting with me. And then after that, like we went to where the carousel, they have a carousel over there by the water. Oh my goodness. It was beautiful. And she did her shoot like on, the carousel and like with some other places in that area down there in Dumbo, and it was just like whoa. So yeah, you're absolutely right. um and then he done gave up his, okay, so he was living, I'm sure, that this is no longer a thing. 210 West 56th Street at the time. When you met them at they have a lot of, depending if they, sometimes they're in, they live in buildings where there is um doormen. So, my cousin did JT's makeup from the City Girls. She did her makeup after JT came home, and they actually have, and she wouldn't, but she said I would never have thought that was where they lived in New York. So they do have a property in apartment in New York. Her and that guy she goes with, and she did her makeup twice. So in New York. So yeah. So when you met them at hotels, in what kind of rooms did you generally meet them? In suites. Is that what you're asking me? Yes. Okay. What, if any, did Miss Ventura tell you to give hotel management if you were asked who you were there to see? Black. For each of these locations, how did you learn that they wanted to meet you there? Cassie either called me or texted me. How much notice did you generally receive between when Cassie would contact you and when you were supposed to arrive for a meeting? It could be anywhere between an hour to a couple of days. Did you yourself reach out affirmatively to Cassie via text? Yeah. Why was that? At some point after some things had happened, I always wanted to know that she was good. Wow. So and then when she wouldn't reply, eventually I started sending her, more vulgar text messages to see if I could get her, more interested to see me again so that I could actually see her in person and know that she was good. Wow. And when you say you sent her vulgar text messages, what do you mean? I mean, I can recall sending her at least one message telling her that I wanted to. You want me to say it? If you wouldn't mind giving an example, I want to F you right now. And are those the kind of vulgar text messages you would send her? Not often, but once or twice. Yeah. To the best of your recollection, did Cassie ever respond to those vulgar text messages? I don't think so. During your actual encounters with Cassie and Mr. Combs, generally, how were the rooms decorated? Sometimes sheets or like towels on the couch. The curtains were always shut fully. There was always a table in front of the couch, and there was always candles on that table, and also bottles of baby oil or Astroglide. And then there were a few occasions where they would ask me to actually go to the pharmacy and pick those things up. I guess because they didn't have them at their location. Oh my gosh. Mama, I just can't. Dang it, I might have to use the reset. I might, I may have to do the. I may have to use the daggone reset video for this stream. Goodness, you're gonna send the man. Not you're gonna hire him out of you're paying him, but you're gonna send the man to chow. This is a mess. Um, every time, other than that first time at the Gramercy Park Hotel, who directed you to use baby oil? Well, are you asking? Okay, I think I understand. So the first time Cassie did, and then I guess we kind of knew what to do after that. But Sean Combs would often tell us, y'all need to rub more baby oil on each other. You're not like, you don't have enough on. So, what types of things do you remember Mr. Combs saying to you and to Miss Ventura about baby oil during these encounters? He would just tell us to put more on. Child, this is what I'm saying for always. Like, now, how are you asking this man to go to the store and get? So, from the pictures that were released in the courtroom, and like, I'm gonna have to get some pictures so that I can, put them in here. I'm gonna have to pull some of them up. As a matter of fact, yeah, I would have to if I do it here. I would have to do. When he got arrested, listen. Now he's supposed to be a rich man, and I get it. Baby oil and Astroglide, if it opens, it could damage clothes and all of that. But why he had that stuff in a Ziploc bag? Your kitchen Ziploc bag. I said, hold on. He couldn't get a little plastic, sophisticated bag to carry this stuff in. He just like, go on in the closet. I believe the maids or whoever goes shopping for him went shopping. Go on in there and grab me a Ziploc bag so I can put. I don't want this messing up my clothes. Get out. Okay, so what are some of the directions you remember Combs giving to you and Miss Ventura? He would tell us like, slow down, y'all stop now, separate from each other. It's getting too much now. It's getting too hot. Y'all, one time he had us try to role play like we had just met at an airport, and yeah, we were not very good at that at all. So I think we skipped past that one really quickly. Not he had them role play like they met it at the objection. Allie said objection. Lord, you can't make this stuff up. This is a good the court transcript, people. You cannot make this up. If you're watching over here on YouTube and you are coming in and out, please hit the like or the thumbs up or thumbs down. If you're over on X, formerly known as Twitter, please consider coming over here to YouTube. Ali has dropped a link down in the chat over there on X where you could click on it. It will bring you directly over here to YouTube. You can hit the like button and go right back over there to watching on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, if you like. I would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, but mainly it was more like, don't. All right, what word am I going to use here? Because YouTube, come on, YouTube, can we just read the transcripts? It's all right. Don't bust off yet. Don't bust off. So y'all should know what bust off means. If you feel like you're going to bust off, don't bust off yet. Things like that. You're gonna tell this man to hold his mule? Wait, hold on now. What in the horse tranquilizer? You're gonna tell this man, child. So, about how often during these encounters would Mr. Combs tell you to wait to bust off? Because I don't know if I can even say that word on YouTube. I mean, it was often, but I think he started really directing us from like the second time on. So, the first encounter, he didn't really say much to us. But after that, he would tell us what to do after that. So again, focusing just on the second time forward. Okay, what directions about when you should bust off do you remember Mr. Combs giving you? I mean, yeah, he would often tell me not to bust off. Don't bust off yet. And if you feel like you're going to bust off, stop. But it was more so where he wanted me to bust off. Lord, yeah, you know what? And what do you remember about him? What do you remember him saying about that? He occasionally wanted me to bust off on her stomach or, inside of her. And, yeah. What, if any, directions did Mr. Combs give to you and Miss Ventura about what eggs acts to engage in? He really would just tell us to like rub each other and like, touch each other. And then he would tell her to, blow me, give me oral. Listen, and it's a sad thing that she did not know that a real man that really cared about you would not ask you to do these things with another man. People into the swingers, that's what you into, that's what you are into. But for Cassie, you know, she was forced into this relationship. First of all, let's start there. Let's start there, regardless to whether people want to say that or not. She was forced into this relationship. That's the first thing. And the second thing, um, after, dealing with this guy, she wanted to have a relationship. But that came after. She wanted the career first. That is why they met. So now it's to a different level, but she's thinking like it's love and hoping that one day they would get married. Yeah, you know what? He always told on himself. If you look at those old videos now, and I'm wondering, I don't know if you saw the video where he was videoing and he said, this is what happens to you when you come to this is what happened to the Caucasian people when they come to a Diddy party. And then he tells the guy that's sitting up in the chair because he's filming, move out the way, you're lucky to be alive. Look at him, and the guy is face down on somebody else's lap, like just don't even look like because he doesn't look like he's alive. And then he said who the person was, and then he told the guy, sit the drink on his head. Now that guy, I'm waiting like to see some legal paperwork because, well, he could argue that he was drinking so much, not used to drinking, he passed out. And at this point, they can't prove whether or not it was laced. But anything they said this guy was giving out was laced. So I'm sure that nothing else. I mean, I'm hoping and praying that nothing else happened to this young man after that camera went off. But yeah, I saw that video the other day and was greatly disturbed by it. He also said that when he was young, he used to sneak in the living room and watch Corn on cable. Why? When they said it's allegedly, alleged, his mother used to have these kind of parties. That's what they say. Allegedly. I'm just saying what they said. But I like to stick to the facts. That's why I've never seen that anywhere yet. But a lot of the people that were assigned to him said she was very hands-on and very involved. And I'm talking about the artists. So yeah, there's supposedly like a big feud that's going on now, and a lot of the artists know that she like was getting some of the money. So yeah, for always, exactly. That is exactly the video that I'm talking about. So the guy was passed out on somebody's leg, not saying that anything extra was happening. That is where he fell. I guess when he passed out, he just happened to be face down on the guy's leg. And the guy had the drink sitting on his head, and it was somebody sitting next to him, and everybody was laughing. Um, yeah, if all of the stuff alleged is true, and this stuff that's being brought in the courts, they're saying all these things to prove, that this is like part of a RICO, while everybody is saying like, oh, it's abuse, to know they was living a swinger's life and all this other stuff. But um, thank goodness that her best friend is still alive. One of her best friends, the music writer, I think it's her, Red, and she had no idea that Cassie was being abused, but because just like any an abuser, I'm going to alienate her from everybody that she's, family, close friends, everything. And she didn't know, and like she said, when she saw the video, she cried, but she knew that Cassie didn't want to be in a relationship with him from the jump. It was a business thing where she was signed to the label. He forced herself on her. He started showing up where she was, stalking her, making her leave places. Her friends are like, "What's going on?" Like, he's just saying that it's best for my career. He's just trying to keep me out because, this is what's best for my career. And this was early on when they got together, her best friend said. They questioned her, like, why is he doing so much? And that was her response. So yeah, Mace put it right on out there. Mace was tied. And when Mace came out and said I got time today. And so yeah, he did come right out and say it. So um but they also said that, growing up, she was having these type of parties, and this is why their relationship is odd. Yeah, the friend that wrote a lot of her music. Yes. So his mother and his relationship was odd, and so if you saw one of the security guards even said that he had slapped his mother one day in an interview. That's what the security guard is alleging. And I know that the other security guard that has been speaking, that has a channel now on here on YouTube, he said that he had just got smart with his mother in front of him. And he said he treated him like he was a father, was a father-son relationship. He never did any of these things in front of him. He said, and he told him, if I ever see or hear you say anything to your mother like that, he gonna, I'm a beat you down, like, and he never got disrespectful again in front of that security guard. But then on the other hand, another security guard allegedly saw him slap his mama. Yeah, it's too much. But anyway, let's get back into this. Um, so what, if any, directions did Mr. Combs give to you and Miss Ventura about what acts to engage in? He really would just tell us to like rub each other and like, touch each other, and then he would tell her to, oh, we already said, I'm not repeating that again because I'm sure he's gonna say something else that is going to just throw me all the way off about I couldn't believe to blow him. That is crazy. So throughout these encounters, what did you observe Mr. Combs doing? He was always sitting in the corner pleasing himself. And then occasionally he would tell me to step off and back up because he was going to get some. And then he would start having eggs with her. And I would be sitting off in the corner watching, just other than oral and in and out. I don't know if that. Listen, YouTube, y'all need to come up with a dictionary of the things that we can and cannot say. Because I can remember the red rum and the unalive and all that. But some stuff like that, like we can't say that they will. I mean, I guess it's a quick to demonetize your video thing, or I can understand. If you, as far as ads go, if the companies want to limit the ads because of those words or whatever, but YouTube would just demonetize the whole video altogether. So, what other acts, if any, do you remember Mr. Combs asking you to perform on Miss Ventura? And they probably will demonetize this. This is a lot here, and so that's why you see some YouTubers just come right on out and ask for support. They don't care because some videos, like when you covering stuff like this, they do not they demonetize the video. You don't get anything for it. Like so, um, that's why some YouTubers do that. They come right on out and just ask because some YouTubers do this full time, and so if they don't have anybody supporting and donating, a lot of times they can't cover stuff like this because um, YouTube will demonetize the video, believe it or not. Believe what I'm telling you. All of my videos get struck, and then they tell me it can't be monetized because of my own music. So it's not something that other YouTubers are just out here saying. Before I started doing content, before I was monetized, I was like, oh, they probably, it ain't, it shouldn't be that bad. So then I was over here like, what the heck? Y'all, for what? Child, you can't even put some stuff in the description. If you put the unalive in the description, but the word, y'all know the word I'm talking about, YouTube will flag it. It's crazy, but it happens anyway. How many times, if any, were you asked to? So I don't recall anything else. How many times, if any, were you asked to urinate on Miss Ventura? Objection. The question needs to be rephrased. The court says. So what if any bodily fluids other than busting off, do you remember there being in these rooms? Objection. Just on leading grounds. Yes, Judge. That's overruled. So Cassie was actually the one that asked me to urinate on her. So that's why Young Miami, when she interviewed Trina, she's like, "So you like people? Do you like somebody to? Do you like them to pee on you? You like people to pee on you? I like when people pee on me." Child. And Trina from the 305 was like probably even if I did, I wouldn't tell nobody. So she was like, "Oh no, no, I know." Like she was looking like what? And Miami, I guess I just thinking like we freaks, and so we getting ready. Yeah, we just the interview. Look, that's my godmother, and yeah. So what you feel about? I said, oh, just casually like that. Young Miami, Carisha, please. So that's overruled. So Cassie, so they had just come out of the room, and she asked me if I had ever done that before, and I said no, and she told me to do it. And apparently, I was doing it wrong because they both stopped me and told me that I was supposed to let a little out at a time and not go full, like take a leak on her. Y'all, I'm gonna just go on ahead and take just a little break because I'm sorry, y'all. This is me. All right, y'all. I needed a little reset for myself, child. You know what? I don't think that Carisha is a pick me, right? I don't think that she's a pick me. I think that she is everything that they say that her and JT was saying in those records that were released. I just think that she's somebody that wants like money spent on her. And so the allowance that he was paying her was hefty as heck, and then he cut it in half. But it was still hectic. Who's giving you 500,000 a month and then cutting it to 250,000 a month? Who like you got to be. He had money. He's a billionaire. So yeah, she was getting that, then getting that. Then did you see the videos when they would go shopping? He will always look like, oh my God, this girl got me out here. Now I spend money, but I don't be spending this type of money. Did you see them coming out of the Chanel store? She had so many bags. And he was looking like, what did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? So I do believe that, he saw something else in Carisha, but if something happened to her, I pray that she gets the strength to open up and say something about it. You can't, because he gave you so many opportunities, because he gave her more opportunities than he gave Cassie, okay? And you know what? Young Miami was talking that talk, like, what's up? Uh, we go together real bad. I'm the type of girl, I'm gonna be outside your crib. Like, what's up? You said you leaving me? But she did leave him a couple times. I do remember that. And then she was back. You ain't see that video? Yeah. There's a video where they were shopping um and I think it was before their song Act Bad came out. And she was shopped, like they was in the Chanel store. They had a videographer and they was videoing, when she was looking at all the stuff that she was picking out that was Chanel. And when they left out of the store, like he was standing there like, what did I get myself into? You had to see the look on his face. I'm sure if if I could find it, I'll put it up, but I'll, bring it in somehow and share it and show it. But because I'm reading, I can't. But yeah, there is a video, and it just was every time you saw them on the shopping spree or something, his face was looking like. And so for always, so she does have children, but they say she never has her children in these type of spaces. They said at home, she explained Young Miami and Carisha. She said Carisha is a boring person that's home with her kids, with a bonnet on and watching TV, playing with her kids, interacting with her kids. And they said that she's home regularly unless she's on the road. She takes care of her children. So she doesn't show her children this. But when they get older, will they know that she dated this guy? And then when you pull up, because kids start, okay, go. My mother is Young Miami. My daughter, let me tell you something. I went to a parent teacher conference and she was like, your daughter, she brought your comp card to school. She said that you're a model. Girl, what? My comp card. Hello, Mariah and Korea, Blessed Reborn Nursery. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And please hit that like button just in case you got to run. Hit the subscribe button right next to if you're not subscribed to the like button. I appreciate you. And so I said, what? A comp card has the sizes and stuff that you wear. You bring it to go sees, you give it to them so they know your measurement, your height, what size pants you wear, what size your bust is. Like, just ask. And she why? And she didn't want. Well, she told the kids you model and they didn't believe her. So when did you get my comp card, girl? When did you take one of my comp cards and bring it to school? And so she was at a younger age then. Like she was in elementary school then. So yeah, you're right. It's just it's crazy. She was at elementary school then, and then she was in elementary school, and then and in her when was it junior high, like she just know how to Google me and pull me up. So it was just like, and she's like, people's like, that's not your mother. Like, can you send me the pictures personally? Girl, I'm not even modeling anymore. Why does it matter? But that's your kid saying that, oh, my mother did this great thing. Like my mother, she did this, she did. So yeah, you're right. When them kids start, and I'm sure her son, because these kids with these electronics are tech savvy, I'm sure her son is out here Googling Young Miami. And then P. Diddy pops up, and then all this other stuff pops up with him. So it's probably already happening. And I just hope that other kids don't start to, bother her children. You know what I'm saying? Because they typed that in. Now you attached to this case, and they said that one time he done forgot to toot you and you done bought it to him. So I'm trying to see, is she I don't think that she should, unless she's being forced by the government to testify, that she should come and testify on the other side as a character witness for him. I don't think that she should do that, because all they got to do is go and pull up the first interview when Carisha Police first came out. And I think that her show, I liked her show because it was raw. She got right to the raw questions when it came to other people. But that first interview was of Diddy. And she didn't say anything bad really, but they go together real bad. Because he said, we're dating. She was like, what are we? He said, we're dating. And says, he was like, what do you consider us? She's like, we go together. He said, we go together. She was like, real bad. And he asked her what was the craziest thing that she ever done. All right. And then she says it. So, but anyway, let's get back to them using Cassie as a urinal, because this is crazy. So, child, yeah, he was doing it all wrong. They wanted him to start and stop. Leak it and stop it. Leak it. Don't just take a whole leak on it. That's what they said. But yeah, that was just one time that they asked me to do that. So he only did it once. So Mr. Donaldson says, objection to the characterization of they asking him to do that. Come on now. Stop. I believe the testimony was that the court, no, I've got it. The jury should disregard the last sentence of the witness's last answer. Ms. Comey, can you, Comey, you can proceed. What was Mr. Combs doing when you urinated on Miss Ventura? He was pleasing himself. What, if any, conversations do you recall having with Mr. Combs about using protection? I brought up the fact that I would like to start unless she could provide me with her STD history and make sure that she was good. She agreed. I agreed to do the same. And I ended up bringing her mine, but I never received hers. How often did you use condoms with Miss Ventura? By the time we had that conversation, not many. What did Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs usually do after you bust on her? They would get up and go inside of wherever the bedroom was inside the hotel room. And generally what happened next, I would be sitting in that room for hours, just sitting there. And then what do you remember happening. Sometimes they would come out and tell me, okay, you can go. And other times they would come out and ask me if I'm ready to go again. About how long did each of these encounters with Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura usually last? Could be anywhere from an hour to 10 hours. He never got hers. Yeah, you read that absolutely correct. Or you heard it or whatever. Never got hers. Yeah, let me just do this one right here because baby, even though it's scrolling across the bottom, child never got hers with the eyes. Yes, never got hers. All right. So let's get back into it here because like what are we doing here? And generally, what happened over those hours, we would have eggs, and then I would be sitting there waiting for hours on the couch, just sitting there. Okay, so we women, and yeah, that was that. But yeah, they definitely knew. Okay, so yeah, I didn't read that one. Oh, okay. He said, and generally, what happened over those hours? We would have eggs, and then I would be sitting there waiting for hours on the couch, just sitting there. How many times, if any, did you pretend to bust off but actually didn't? Once. Can you tell us about that? I think this was on our second go round, and he told me to make sure that I came inside of her yeah, this time. Oh, that one kind of slipped by me. But and I went to go do it, but I couldn't do it. I was in my head or whatever the problem was, but I couldn't bust off. And so I just pretended to do it. And they got up, they went into the room, and then Sean Combs came out of the room and he asked me, he said, yo, you are you sure you bust off? And I said, yeah, I'm positive. And he was like, you sure? And I said, yes. And so they went back into the room and yeah, that was that. But yeah, they definitely knew. Objection. I pretended. The jury should disregard the last sentence in the witness's cancer and answer. You know what it was? It was those daggone horse tranquilizers for always. Um, I believe, like that. Come on, you know how a horse is not a small animal. So, Miss Comey, you mentioned that at some point you saw Mr. Combs' face. How did that happen? I was supposed to meet Cassie and Sean Combs down at the Dream Downtown Hotel, I believe. And Cassie called me while I was on my way down there. She told me that they were switching hotels and they were heading uptown to the Myra X's house. And she told me at that hotel I don't need to stop at the front desk and that I can just go straight upstairs. And so she told me to give them maybe 30 minutes or something like that before I came upstairs. And so I did that. I went up in about 30 minutes and I knocked on the door. And this was the first time that Sean Combs opened the door as himself. So, dressed in a suit and pea coat and no mask, no hat, no anything on. Just, it was him. So, what was covering his face when he opened the door? Nothing. How did your interactions with Mr. Combs change after you saw his face? He didn't feel, obviously, objection. I guess without commenting on how Mr. Combs felt, yeah, or what he thought, based on your own observations, how did your interactions change? He never wore a mask or had again. He said, "Oh, you already know yeah, it's the P did stir." He already knew it was the diddler though from day one. Soon as you spoke and started giving directions, he knew it was you. Excuse me. I have to take a drink every now and then. There's a lot of reading. Um, So, who, if anyone, recorded your actual encounters with Miss Ventura? Objection. Leading, if any. Your Honor, it's who, if any. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. My apologies. Withdrawn. Stop it. Stop it, Mr. Donaldson. Stop it. All right. The court. All right. Who, if anyone, recorded your encounters with Miss Ventura? Sean Combs. How about about how many times do you remember Mr. Combs recording you and Miss Ventura during these actual encounters? Again, I would be estimating, but once or twice. And what do you remember Mr. Combs using to record those encounters? I do believe a cell phone and a camcorder device. What, if any, form of identification do you remember Mr. Combs asking you for? He asked me for my ID, my driver's license. What? Who are you? I'm not giving you my driver's license. For what? He took a picture of it? What, if any, form? So he asked me for his driver's license. What do you remember about that? He took my driver's license and took a picture of it, and then said to me, "It's just for, insurance, just in case." Thank you for coming and testifying for the court, Mr. Phillip. I don't know if you had a choice, but okay, let's move on. What did you understand him to be telling you? That if I spoke about this to anybody, that he probably, I don't know. Objection, objection. I felt. Hold on. Objection. Grounds. He's about to speculate as to what Mr. Combs intended by asking for a. All right, Your Honor. He's explaining the context. Hold on, Miss Comey. Why don't you ask a new question that's perhaps more focused? Based on Mr. Combs' demeanor, tone of voice, and behavior during that conversation, what did you understand he was communicating to you? Objection. That's overruled. I understood it to be that he was threatening me. How many times, if any, did you notice that Miss Ventura appeared to be under the influence of rugs? Just once. What do you remember about that? I came to a hotel room and Sean Combs opened the door, and when I went inside the hotel room, he closed the door behind me and then said to me that I don't think this is going to happen today. And I looked at the couch, and Cassie looked like to me, she looked like she was completely passed out on the couch, slumped over and half on the couch, half off of the couch. What was she wearing? I think she was wearing lingerie. What, if any, rugs did you use during your actual encounters with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? He offered me a Silas once or twice, and then Molly once. And who offered you the Molly, Mr. Combs? And when you say Molly, what are you referring to? I don't do drugs, so MDMHA. I don't know what the term is, but I guess ecstasy. I don't want you to guess, Mr. Phillip. Thank you. Okay. What do you remember about the time that you were offered Molly by Mr. Combs? I remember I really can't tell you who gave me the money, but I had gotten a couple $1,000, I guess, after we had eggs. I took that Molly and then I became a totally different person. I went out into Times Square and I handed out $100 bills to every single person that I saw in front of me. Lord, he was out there tricking off of the Molly, but he was giving away his money for free. Child. When you said you became a totally different person, how did the Molly make you feel? It made me feel like a jackass. I felt like a donkey that wanted to go out into the middle of Times Square and hand out dollar bills to every person that it says he saw. Can you describe the sensation of taking the Molly for us, please? I felt sick, like physically sick, like nauseous, but also felt euphoric at the same time. That time that you took Molly from Mr. Combs, other than Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura, who else, if anyone, do you remember being at this encounter? There was one other time that I can remember, it may have been twice, that they invited another guy to come and, sorry, let's back up. Can we focus just on the time that he gave you the Molly? Oh, sure. Oh, just the time he gave you the Molly. Okay. Who else was present, if anyone? There was another guy who told me he was an actual escort. Objection. It's not offered for the truth, Your Honor. It's overruled. And what did you see that other guy doing? He was having relations with Cassie. Now, where did this encounter happen? At Cassie's house. Cha. So, can you walk us through who all was at Cassie's apartment on this particular occasion? It was this other guy, myself, Cassie, and Sean Combs. And what did you see this other guy doing? Having eggs with, with Cassie. And what did you see Mr. Combs doing while this other guy was having eggs with Cassie? She was actually giving him. She was actually giving him oral at the time. Most of the time, excuse me. Child, they did. I guess he said it was his house because he was paying for it with her money that from the advancement from the 10 record deal money that he received from the parent company. All right, so child, what was okay? So, and what do you remember happening during that particular eggs act? The guy kept on looking at Sean in the face. Sean Combs in the face, and Mr. Combs turned to him and basically told him, "Look, MFer, you better stop looking at me in my face." And the guy got like real scared, and he's like, "I'm not looking at you." And he's like, "You better not be effing looking at me." And Cassie jumped off of the couch and like ran to the opposite side of the room. And the guy was just like saying profusely, "I'm not looking at you. I swear I'm not looking at you." Objection, Judge. All right, let's get a fresh question. After Cassie ran away, what do you remember happening next? The guy told Mr. Combs, "I'm not looking at you." Mr. Combs said, "Okay, all right, we here to have fun, not do anything else." And then he told Cassie to come back to the couch. And Cassie asked if they were absolutely positive that they're good now because she seemed like she was scared to go back to the couch. What does this other man look like? Black guy, kind of skinny. Ooh, who was that? Lord. And what, if any, contact did you have with him outside of that night? We at some point, and I do not recollect how this happened, but we at some point exchanged phone numbers. What? Uh oh. I didn't get right say who it is. Child. Oh, they exchanged phone numbers. And how about how many times did you see each other in person outside of that night? We never saw each other out in person out. You mean like met up with each other? Yes. No, we had never done that. Did you speak over the phone occasionally? Objection. The court says overruled. We may have shared a couple of text messages. Do you remember his name? Why is God going to say no? No. Have you spoken to him in the last 10 years? No. After Mr. Combs gave you the Molly, what else did he give you that night? If it was him, cash, a couple $1,000s. Well, let me ask you this. Do you remember who gave you the cash that night? I don't. Okay, but do you remember getting cash that night? I do. And then what did you do after getting the cash and taking the Molly? Like I said, I went into the middle of Times Square and I handed out every single dollar they gave me. Yeah, at the time. So I'm so glad she hasn't, she doesn't live there and probably hasn't been living there in a long time. So, um, Where were there ever times when you arrived for one of these encounters with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs, and it appeared that you were not the first person who had been there? Yes. Can you tell us about that? Just times that I would come to the hotel room and there would be like towels on the floor that looked used and bottles of baby oil that were almost finished, and Astroglide that was halfway used. God dang on it. And it just looked like, like someone had been there before already. After that time that you took the Molly and gave the cash away in Times Square, did you see Miss Ventura or Mr. Combs in person again? Not to my knowledge, no. And why not? Because I, after a certain point, was no longer able to get, he wasn't able to get hard when I was interacting with them. What were you paid for your actual encounters with Miss Ventura in front of Mr. Combs? What was I paid? Yes. In totality each time. Oh, it could be anywhere from $700 to 6,000. And who do you remember handing you the cash? It was always Cassie. And I say that saying that I do not remember who handed me the money the last time. Um, What, if any, comments do you remember Mr. Combs making to you about money? I remember he came out of the room once and asked me and the gentleman if we had gotten our bread. Now, stepping back, when you first arrived at the Grand Mercy Park Hotel, I think it's Grand Marcy Park Hotel for that first encounter, did you expect to be paid for X? No. Had you ever been paid for X before that night? No. Have you ever been paid for X since you last saw Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? No. When you were able to actually perform with Miss Ventura in front of Mr. Combs, what were you paid? Again, it could have ranged. Oh, you're saying when I couldn't, when you could, when you could. Okay, it could range anywhere from 700 to thousands of dollars. And when you could not actually perform with Miss Ventura in front of Mr. Combs, what were you paid? Nothing. Sometimes nothing. If there were times when you were not paid, why did you go back to more meetings with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? Well, I, for one, was not someone that was getting paid for eggs. In my head, I was just excited that I was in this world and, happy to be involved with people with such notoriety. I didn't care if I got paid one way or another. You didn't care that she didn't produce that SCD test either, did you? All right, now, I never asked them for a single dollar. They gave that to me every time that I went to see them. So for me, it was just, this is just something that they do. They have that kind of money. They want to share it with me. I'm fine with that. What actual performance issues did you experience when meeting with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs? I could not get, I couldn't get it up. You want the medical term for that? Erectile dysfunction. Child, take the wheel. When was the first time you experienced that actual performance issue? After the first time that I saw him hit her. Whoa! Hold on now. Hold on a minute now. He said the first time he saw her hit her at Cassie's house. And when you say you saw him hit her, who did you see hit whom? Sean Combs hit Cassie. Right before the violence started, where were you in Cassie's apartment? I was sitting on her couch, which was directly behind her. And where was Cassie? She was sitting at her computer, which was facing a wall directly in front of me. Where was Mr. Combs? He was in her bedroom, Cassie's bedroom. And what had happened just before this violence? I had eggs with her, with Cassie. What do you remember happening from the time that I had eggs with her? Yes. Okay. Well, I had eggs with her and we finished doing what we were doing. And then they both went into the bedroom. She eventually came out and she got on her computer and Mr. Combs was in her bedroom. Cassie was on her computer and I heard him yell out, "Babe, come here." Let me pause you right there. Sure. You said you heard him yell out. Who did you hear yell out? I heard Mr. Combs yell out to Cassie, "Babe, come here." How did Cassie respond when Mr. Combs said, "Babe, come here"? Cassie was on her computer and she said, "Hold on one second. I have my personal information out on my computer right now." What happened right after Cassie said, "Hold on one second"? Mr. Combs, came out of the room and I just saw a bottle fly past her and hit the wall. What? If you're in here, you're just coming in here on YouTube, please hit the like button. It's not going to tell me who liked the video, or you can thumbs down the video if you like. It's just for engagement, just in case you have to run. It's a free way to support the show. Thank you so much. Thank you very kindly. So what kind of bottle? It looked like a liquor bottle. And then Mr. Combs, walked over to her, to Cassie. He grabbed her by her hair and started dragging her by her hair into her bedroom. And Lord, let me ask you, as Mr. Combs was dragging Cassie by her hair to her bedroom, what did you hear Mr. Combs saying? He wasn't saying anything while he was dragging her. She was yelling. What was she saying? And she was screaming. And Mr. Combs, pulled her into the bedroom, and I could hear him. I could hear what sounded like him slapping her. What else could you hear from the bedroom? She was screaming. What did you hear her saying? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then Mr. Combs, was basically saying, biatch, when I tell you to come here, you come now, not later. Sound just like him, don't it? All right. How did Miss Ventura compare in physical size to Mr. Combs? She's tiny compared to him. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I said she's tiny compared to him. How did you react to this violence? I was shocked. I can't. It came out of nowhere. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Did you intervene? No. Why not? Because I knew that the chances that there were 4 or 5 big bodyguards in another room. Mr. Donaldson, objection. Sustained. Without speculating about what might have been going on outside of what you could see and what you could hear, can you explain to the jury why you didn't intervene when you heard Cassie crying and what sounded like smacks? I didn't know what to do. I was shocked. In my mind, it was going through my head that if I tried to do something, I might lose my life. Mr. Donaldson, objection. Ms. Coleman, Your Honor, I'm happy to explain why I think that's perfectly admissible. It's overruled. No need to, no need to explain, because baby, it is overruled. Okay. And why didn't you call the police and report what you saw? Because again, without speculating, I'm not speculating. I'm just telling you what was in my mind and what I was feeling at the time. My thoughts were that this was someone with an unlimited power. Objection. The court says that is overruled. All right, and we're gonna take a minute because y'all gonna have to excuse me. We're gonna take a minute while we listen to this word from our sponsor, and we will be back. We will be right back. Hold on a minute. One moment for the word from our
And now
sponsor.
a word from our sponsor. Survivor Speaks extends heartfelt gratitude to Emin Essentials for
Okay,
their
so
generous
here is what
sponsorship.
I'm not
From
hearing.
handmade soy wax candles for a cleaner burn to car and pet friendly room freshener sprays, they offer quality products tailored to your needs and do not use any dye in any of their products.
Uh,
Custom packaging is
yeah,
available upon request,
I'm not
along with
hearing
a
this.
limited luxury
And
line while supplies last. Visit
I don't know what's going on. What is
www.inmanessentials.com
going on
now.
here?
And don't forget to subscribe and enter your email address for an exclusive 10% discount on your first order. What are you waiting for? Now back to the show.
All right, and we are back. Thank you so much. And I think we needed that break. So, objection, and he said the court says that's overruled. My thoughts was that this was someone with unlimited power, and chances are that even if I did go to the police, that I might still end up losing my life. Mr. Donaldson says objection and move to strike. Miss Comey, Your Honor, it's the same basis of admissibility as the prior explanation of his state of mind. Denied. Motion is denied. What happened after the beating stopped? they, Sean and Combs and Cassie came out of the room. Cassie was visibly like very upset. Did not look like she wanted to continue doing anything. But Mr. Combs asked, "Are y'all ready to continue now?" And I couldn't do anything after that. Child, not he went in. Um, okay. I don't know. I may have tried to act like everything was okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't really recall. How do you remember that interaction ending? I remember leaving. I do not remember them handing me money, and I probably wouldn't have taken that anyway. Mr. Donaldson, objection. Why did you return to meet? Hold on, hold on. The jury should disregard the last sentence of the witness's answer. Um, Miss Comey, you may continue. Why did you return to meet with Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs again after you witnessed that violence? I've had conversations in between our interactions with Cassie, and I felt like I had started developing at least some kind of friendship with her. I may have been speculating, but I it was my way of being able to check on her and know that she was okay because she had asked me not to objection. Well, let's stop right there. And Miss Comey, you can ask your next question. Let me ask you this. How many other times did you hear Mr. Combs yell at Miss Ventura? Once after that. Where was this? After Jumira, I hope I'm not jacking that up, X's House Hotel. Right. For always, that is also, and that's also true for law enforcement too. Law enforcement too. A lot of times they don't. The reason why they don't like to respond, and they have a whole protocol for responding to DVK to a DV call, is because the person that's normally getting abused, once they get there, they side with the abuser, and in some cases have even lost their lives. So with having a pow on them. So imagine being somebody with none and you're intervening, like, a lot of times, like the person that you're helping turns on you. Will turn on the abuser. So, turn on the person that's trying to intervene and side with the abuser. So that is absolutely correct. Um, and there is studies and, things out there too, um, that can be read, like to, that it's documented. So okay, so let's go. He says objection. Well, let's stop right there. And Ms. Comey, you can ask your next question. Let me ask you this: how many other times did you hear Mr. Combs yell at Miss Ventura? Once after that. Oh, okay. So we were at the Jumira Access House Hotel. Would you please describe the layout of the hotel room you were in? There's a door, the front door. When you walk into the front door, there's a bedroom right in front of that door. If you turn left, there's a hall, a foyer that goes down into a living room, common area, bathroom where the foyer is on the left hand side. What do you remember happening right before you heard Mr. Combs yell? I think we had relations during this encounter. Objection. Well, never mind. Withdrawn. What are you trying to do? Well, sir, what you trying to do? Objection for what? And then after you had eggs, what do you remember? Sean Combs and Cassie were in the bedroom for a while, and where were you when they were in the bedroom? I was in the living room. And what did you hear coming from the bedroom? Out of nowhere, I could hear Cassie yelling, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And then I could hear again what sounded like she was being slapped or someone was being slapped around and slammed around the room. And I looked around the corner to where the foyer was, and I saw Mr. Combs walk out of the hotel altogether without clothes on. He might have had a towel on. Ciao. Why he be in these hotel rooms in these towels? Because he said this is his Jumeirah hotel. Jumeirah. He didn't say that this was the Intercontinental. So let's keep reading and let's see. That's why we need to dig into these documents. Um, and then Cassie came running into the living room and she literally jumped into my lap and she was shaking like literally, like her whole entire body was shaking, like she was terrified. Do you remember what she was wearing? I don't know. I don't know. Do you remember what she said to you when she jumped into your lap? I remember what I said to her. Well, first, let me ask: do you remember what she said to you, or no? At what point when she jumped into your lap? I don't know if she said anything to me when she jumped into my lap. I don't remember. What did you say to her? I asked her, why is she doing this? Why is she staying with this guy if he's objection? Your Honor, it is not offered for the truth. It's a question. What's the ground of the objection? Hearsay. Overruled. Listen, for always, if this is not the encounter, it can't be the encounter because, well, unless he came back and she left after, because I thought they said that the first escort was the one that was in. Now he was at the Intercontinental, so that's why I was like, okay, well maybe he is. Let's read on further, but if not, then this is another incident at a different hotel, and then there's another escort that's going to be testifying, and then I guess he's not the one. I thought that, from the reports that I looked at, I thought they said that the escort that was at the Intercontinental during that interaction was the first escort witness. So let's read. So that's why yesterday when we read yesterday, uh, about the officer with the 2 o'clock and the 3 o'clock. There's a reason for that. And it meant nothing. And that's why Brian still did not bring it up on cross. And remember, he recrossed him. So on recross. And on he asked, it wasn't a recross actually. It was a direct examination question that he was asking on recross because he forgot and the courts allowed him to ask the question. So let's read and let's see. So, interpretations are different. So let's see what we going straight to the documents. Okay. So hearsay, overruled. Can you tell us again what you said to Cassie? I asked her why she was staying with this guy if he is hitting her and beating her like this. And I tried to explain to her that she was in real danger if she stayed with him. And she basically tried to convince me that it was okay. It's okay. I'm fine. I'll be okay. And I just kept trying to tell her that you're not okay and you need to get help. And what do you remember happening next? She and I were alone. This was the first time we were alone, and Cassie was not somebody that likes to kiss. Objection, overruled. During our interactions, Cassie was not a kisser. But in this instance, she just started making out with me. Child, Cassie. Oh, wait, that's the wrong button because I'm on the flip side. Cassie. Lord. Oh my goodness. And we ended up getting into it. But the fact that I was alone with her this time, I had no problem getting it up. And right when we were actually about to start having eggs, I realized that Mr. Combs had re entered the room and he was sort of sneaking around the corner watching us. And once he realized that we could see him, he came into the room and basically was saying that, yeah, that he liked that. He liked that we were getting along in that way. What? And what do you remember happening next? If you just entered the building, please hit the like or the thumbs up or thumbs down. It won't tell me who you are. It will just help engagement and push this video out into the algorithm over here on YouTube. Every time I say that, somebody just, people come in and they just, when I say that, they leave. I can't see that who you are if you like the video. So I'm just asking. It's a free way to support the channel. If you're entering, please hit the like button here on the YouTube. Hit the like button. It will not tell me who you are. Or hit the dislike. Hit the thumbs down button. Either one, it is for engagement. and to get this video out into the algorithm. Thank you. And then here we lost one. So all right, here we go. So yeah, for always very, very sick in the head like this. And in this case, they have been reporting that they tried to, now the defense is going to try to take on a different, they're going to put on a different, they changed as the witnesses testify. So now they're going to try to make Cassie out to be like this ex crazed demon at one point in a trial very shortly, coming up. So I believe in it. Once we get to, I'm gonna see if they're gonna do it right here on Cross, or was it another? Hold on a minute. Was it another video? Hold on a minute. Let me just switch this out here. But yeah, they're going to first, say, they first said, and we already heard while we, when reading the other transcripts, that they were in a swingers relationship. It's the stuff that happened in their personal bedroom, and it was unconventional and all this other stuff. But then they're going to go ahead and go and switch on over to that Cassie was uh, this demon, and that this was all her idea. When it started, Diddy was the one that was making scheduling the hookups, but then he trained Cassie and also the other person, Jane, who's supposed to be testifying. He trained them to make the appointment. So it's going to look like, okay, so they're making the appointments. They're the one that's paying. He's not paying. So like, and if something happened in this case, then I guess they could say, but he wasn't giving any money. He wasn't making the appointments. He wasn't doing any of this stuff. So they can just say that, and then, and be okay, with whatever. Okay, so let's get back into these document stuff. All right. So, all right. And so what do you remember happening next? I think the second that he came back into the room, I was done again. I couldn't continue. Why didn't you go to the police after this incident? I told you again, I was concerned for my life. By this point, he had taken my ID and taken a picture of it, and I felt threatened by what he said to me. And I felt that at the very least, I could try to get her to realize that she needed to leave, and maybe try to help her that way. But I felt like maybe the police he has, Sean Combs, might have someone within the police department. Objection, objection, objection. That's sustained. Just as to the last sentence, Your Honor, move to strike all. Well, the objection wasn't articulated, but I'm sustaining the objection and instructing the jury not to consider the last portion of the witness's answer. So it's still going to go back to the jury. It's still going to go back there with them. See, this is what I'm saying about them saying, okay, when they don't strike, when they move the strike, they remove it from, whatever the jury is going to get. But you just telling them that, don't worry, don't worry about what he just the last sentence of what he said. Disregard that. But it's still, yeah, part of the record. In my eyes, look, it's still part of the record, right? So, why didn't you go into the bedroom to intervene when you heard Cassie crying and saying, I'm sorry, and what sounded like a beating? Well, I had no idea if I would have been met with a pow pow or objection. Without speculating about what might have happened, can you just generally explain why you didn't go into that bedroom? Because my life was at risk. If objection, I did so. Objection, that's overruled. One moment, Your Honor. No further questions. All right. Um, unhear that. Can we take a 2-minute break, Judge, please? The court. Yes, I was going to suggest that. Can you give us, before we take our break, can you give us just a general, how much time do you anticipate your cross examination taking? And I'm not holding you to anything, I'm just trying to get a sense of the clock. We will go until the end of the day. Okay, all right. Um, at a minimum. Good. Okay. So we're going to take a 10-minute recess just so everyone can stretch their legs, and we will be back at 4:20. All rise for the jury. So the jury is not present here, and the court said, please be seated. And Mr. Phillip, you understand that you are still under oath. And so we're going to take a 10-minute break. But you're not to have any discussions whatsoever of any kind with anyone on the government side or anyone who is in the back. No one. You can stare at some of the artwork in the hall. Child, that is hilarious. He said, don't talk to nobody, just look at the artwork. Child, Your Honor, may I just clarify? May the agents escort him to the room where he's going to be without having any conversations? That's fine. You had an inquiry. I was going to ask for a restroom break. Yeah, and there's a restroom you can be directed to. But other than that, please do not speak with anyone. Ali said objection. I heard what I heard. We will be back at 4:20. Thank you, Your Honor. All right, the court is back. Before I start reading cross, I am going to take a break and have a drink right here. Just 2 seconds. Whew, thank you. Okay, so now the court. All right, we're back. Your Honor, I apologize for the delay. The witness had to go to a different floor to go to the restroom, and so we're waiting. We're waiting for him to come back. That's okay. I did not go to avoid having the appearance of me having any communications with him. It's okay. I assume it will be just a couple of minutes. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I assume it will be just a couple of minutes. Sounds like he's back. All right. So we'll ask him to come back to the stand. Mr. Courtroom Deputy, let's get our jury back. Yes, Your Honor. All right. Please be seated. Welcome back, members of the jury. I hate to do this to you since you just came back, but can I have the lawyers and the reporter for a sidebar? What is going on at the sidebar? The court. All right. When I thought that the witness had asked for water, he had actually asked if he could have a word with his attorney. Oh, to which I said no. I felt it was prudent to let everyone know that he had made that request and that I had said no to see if there was any reaction from the parties or anything to do at this time. Your Honor, generally, when a witness for the defense or government asks to speak with the attorney, I think it's prudent to give them an opportunity to, though I don't want to waste time. The attorney is in the courtroom. Can I go confer with her briefly? You may. Thank you. I don't know if the defense has a position. Mr. Donaldson, I don't, but I agree. Generally, in my experience, when a witness does ask to speak to their attorney, we oblige them to let them do that just in case something is about to come up we don't know about. We don't object to that at all. The court. That's why I called the sidebar. Let's consult with the attorney and do it right now. I'm happy to do it right now. We'll wait. Thank you, Your Honor. So this is why it's important to be reading from the court documents, the official court documents, because this is the actual sidebar. All right. So you have somebody reading these court documents. They don't have like the sidebars and all that stuff in the paperwork. It is not the official transcript. Okay. So just wanted to put that out there. So this is what I just finished reading is what happened at a sidebar. Okay. So let's go. Thank you, Your Honor. So the witness's attorney said that she had the opportunity to confer with the witness briefly during break, and that nothing came up that concerned her. So she was would not request an opportunity to speak with the witness right now. So, given the attorney's views, I'm happy to proceed. If the witness expresses concerns again, then perhaps we can take a break. The court. All right. Is that any different view from the defense? No. Let's proceed. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Okay. So now they're in open court again. All right. So, Mr. Phillips, excuse me, you understand that you're still on the oath? Yes. Mr. Donaldson, you may proceed. Thank you. A cross examination. Let's see. Let's see if they're going to keep it straight, or let's see if they gonna come with the foolishness, because we know that they are really about the foolishness over there. Shout out to anybody that's in the room today, right now. That's why I like the transcripts, for always that is why, because this is not televised, and even when stuff is televised, we do miss like some things, like you miss. And of course, like I said, shout out to the content creators that's out there, getting, that are in the courtroom or in the overflow room. Shout out to, the content creators here on YouTube that's there getting the information and reporting on it. Of course, they're reporting what they can. They're reporting, the core details, stuff that the people would be interested in. Well, I do know, it is what it is. I watch Tisa Tells, and Tisa Tells right now is doing the darn thing. And I mean, she is going full speed reporting and having another live at night. She got to say, "Well, Tisa, you going live 5 or 6 times a day. I ain't mad at you. I got to catch up sometimes, but it's good for me during the day, especially when I'm listening and I'm, with my mom. It's good for me. I can just put it on and play it in my ear. I'll be, stalking the screen. So shout out to Tisa, and shout out to Tisa also for giving the other content creators a platform, like letting them on her platform. I'm talking about people that have been doing this way longer than she has. And she's allowing them and asking them, what did you think about today? What, people that are unfavorable to other people, content creators that have an issue with a lot of content creators on this channel. Tisa Tells has put them on her platform during breaks and stuff and asked them what did they think, giving them exposure, because she knows that what is for her is for her. And I congratulate her for that, because as content creators, we can do more together, instead of being separate. Like I can't control who sits over here. Well, if you come in here in the channel and get disrespectful, yeah, I can't control that, because all opinions are allowed as long as it's respectful. I don't like bullying, and I don't want anybody bullying anybody in the chat. You will the messages will be blocked, removed, and you will be blocked. So I just like to keep it that way. But I think that if us content creators supported each other, and your subscribers are your subscribers, or you're like you share, depending on your niche, you do share subscribers, and people can donate where they want to donate. I think where it gets a little sticky at is when the moderators, like, sometimes they don't understand that. So like, I moderate for 2 different channels that I support, but it's no different when I moderate for those 2 different channels. I'm just there to moderate. I'm not there to gatekeep or try to, it is there. I am a supporter when I'm on your channel, moderating. I am a supporter and a subscriber and a moderator when I'm on their channels, right? So that's what I'm there to do. But when Survivor Speaks is here, this is my platform. I am the content creator. So I get to do and control whatever I want to do and control and say. And I invite everybody to be over here. Long as you're being respectful, I don't care about that. But don't come to me, just don't share the content. And the only reason why I'm saying that is the music behind my content is music that has been professionally released. And the way the distributor has it set up, and the way YouTube is not playing, they strike the video, not me, because it's copywritten. So that's why I tell anybody, like, if you want to share the video, just ask me and tell me. They're gonna strike your video because they strike all of mine. But you can give me, I can take the link that you use and put it on a allow list through my distributor, and YouTube will immediately release the video, but it'll say escrow next to it. And once the distributor says, "Oh no, yeah, you can release it," they'll release it. So I just tell anybody, like, if you're monetized and you share and you're trying to share this, because even though it's watermarked and all that, they're gonna strike your channel. Okay. So I just wanted to say that it is good to get into these transcripts because you can read and you could get I'm like, oh my goodness, I kind of missed that. Did she say? Because I'm sure it'd be a lot going on, a lot of distractions sometimes. So I do. Allie, look at, thank you for putting up my email address, but y'all listen, life that's been life, and I have not looked at my email. Listen, I'm sorry for that. Where is the want button for me? But listen, life just be life. And so, anyway, let's get right back in here. We're going to start with Cross. And I'm just, like I said, anybody that's here, like the video. If you're over here on YouTube, if you want to donate to the channel, Allie, you can drop the link down in the chat. It is voluntary and not mandatory. The free way to support my channel is to hit the like button over here on YouTube for the free 99. But if you want to donate to the platform, you can. Allie would drop the link down in the comments, and however you want to do it, you can do it. And let me check, because I never check these things to see, and if somebody did, because I definitely want to say thank you. But I don't think nobody, I rarely check these things, because there is, wait a, okay, no. Wait a minute. Monday, this is May, right? Um, all right, maybe I didn't, that's not something, I don't know, I'm just confused by that, something I just saw. So yeah, so we are moving right along. All right. So good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm going to ask you to speak up into that microphone so that the last person in this jury can hear you, if that's okay. That's fine. Thank you. I'm going to ask you a few questions. So he's not being questioned by the Honorable Brian Steele. He's being questioned by Mr. Donaldson, the one that was doing all of the objecting. All right. So I'm going to ask you to speak up into that microphone so that the last person in this jury can hear you. If that's okay, that's fine. Thank you. I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you don't understand a question, just let me know and I'll rephrase the question. No problem. Very good. All right. Putting up government exhibit B3-24 just for the parties. Mr. Phillip, I'm showing you what's been marked previously. As government exhibit B324. Do you see that? Yes. Is that a text message chain between you and Cassie? Yes. Oh, he just starting off just trying to bring some heat. All right now. And does it relate to the time period that you have been testifying about? Yes. That would be fair to say. It's pretty accurate about the text messages you had between yourself and Cassie Ventura. Yes. Mr. Donaldson, I can move this into evidence as government exhibit B324, or we can make it a defense exhibit. No objection to making it a government exhibit, Your Honor. We were planning to offer this at a later time. The court, all right, the exhibit will be admitted. Mr. Donaldson, thank you. You can take that down for me. Thank you. So, Mr. Phillip, I want to ask you a few questions. I want to start off with, you mentioned that you were working for a service back in 2011, 2012, and 2013. Do you recall that? I was working for a mail review show. I don't know if I was there 2011. When did you get there? I would be estimating, but somewhere between 2011 and 2012, right? Let's estimate 2011. So you were working for this exotic mail service around 2011. When did you stop? I would be estimating, but probably somewhere between 2014 or 2015. And this mail service that you were working for, you were a manager or a supervisor. Is that correct? That is correct. And this mail service was a business for male strippers for women. Is that correct? That is correct. And this mail service allowed or could hire strippers to go out to locations or to a show to perform for primarily women. Is that correct? That is correct. And this mail service specifically did not involve um uh Lord, and I know, well, I think we cannot say this word on YouTube. Prosecution. Just changed it to, you know what I mean, the lady of the night. Correct? That is correct. In fact, this mail service specifically prohibited lady of the night work. Correct? That is correct. And as a supervisor, you were aware of that. Correct? That is correct. And also, the supervisor, I believe, you helped to make the company run smoothly. Is that correct? That is correct. And you helped develop this company. Is that right? You help. That is correct. Okay, sorry. Let me repeat that. You did help develop the company, correct? That is correct. Around 2011, 2012, the company was really just getting started, correct? That is not correct. But it was your job as a supervisor to help. She said, "Peacestitution, peacestitution adopted, peacestitution." Oh, peacestitution. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember that one. Peacestitution. All right. So, but it was your job. I can't with always. I'm sorry. I can't with always. Thank you for making me laugh. That is crazy. So that is not correct. He says, but what is your job as supervisor, to help develop it and get it more popular? Yes and no. Well, yes, now. Objection, Your Honor. Yes, we don't need, the jury should disregard counsel's last statement, and there should be no statements. There should just be questions, Mr. Donaldson. Just questions. Sorry. Was your job to help secure and build up the mail review for the show? Yes. And in doing so, your job was to help the company develop its business model, correct? Yes. And advertising helped the company grow as well, correct? Yes. You were aware, or are you aware this service you worked for back in 2011, 12, and 13 used fake businesses to help the business grow, correct? I am not aware of that. Can I have 1 second, please, Your Honor? Are you aware that the company helped open fake businesses to optimize searches? I am not aware of that. You're asking that question not in the right way. If you would like me to specify, I will. Oh, okay, now let them know. Let them know you didn't come to play. Okay. Did the company that you work for open fake businesses to optimize searches? I don't know if they were actually fake businesses, but they used fake addresses to optimize the searches. She said, Mr. Donaldson got a smack on the hand. He sure did. And when you say the company used fake addresses to optimize searches, you were aware of that, correct? Yes. And you participated in that? No. When you became aware that the business that you were helping to develop was optimizing or using fake addresses to make the business grow, you resigned, correct? No. You continue working for the business? Yes. So you worked for a business that you knew was using fake addresses to help it grow? Yes. And you did that knowing that was, I don't know, fraudulent? I did not know that that was fraudulent. I just knew that my boss told me how he works with the search engine optimization, and that he uses fake addresses to build with that. I had no idea that meant that wasn't my part of the business. I had no idea what that meant. That wasn't my part of the business. And while you were a supervisor, you were aware that this service provided the ultimate ladies' night experience. Is that correct? That was their slogan, right? That was your business, your service that you worked for. Their slogan was to provide an ultimate ladies' night experience, correct? Yes. And your business that you worked for also prohibited peacestitution, correct? Yes. Then when you met with Cassie Ventura on that first day, you were not going for prostitution, correct? Correct. You are going to optimize the ladies' experience, correct? I have no idea what that means. You have no idea what the company slogan that you worked for means. In regards to me going there to optimize the ladies' experience, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you be specific with your question? Yes. The company slogan was to provide the ultimate ladies' night experience, correct? That was the company slogan, yes. You worked for the company, correct? Correct. Yes, I did. The company sent you to a lady that night, correct? Yes, they did. So you were going there to do the ultimate ladies' night experience, correct? I certainly was going there to give a great experience, yes. For a ladies' night, for a lady, correct? For a bachelorette party is what I thought it was, correct. Get them together because I remember that's what he said. She said that it was for a bachelor's party when she was called. Mr. Donaldson, now. Hold on now because Mr. Phillips is giving you the business here. Excuse me, y'all. Doing a lot of reading. I had to give me a little drink of the aqua. Okay, so I believe you testified earlier that Cassie told you when you arrived at the hotel to ask to say the name Black. Is that correct? Yes. And that's what Cassie told you, correct? Yes. Now, for y'all that don't know, suppose allegedly Diddy would book these rooms under the name of Fred Black. They also found prescriptions in the name of Fred Black. Or is it Frank? It's Frank or Fred? I'm gonna have to get back to you. I say yeah, it's a because now I'm like, wait a minute, was it Frank Black or Fred Black? I think it's Frank. I'm gonna have to go and look at that again. For always, if you heard that or saw that, he did say that, and he was surprised that it was a woman and man. Yeah, he did say that. He forgot it was a woman, but that is a name that Diddy uses. Last name Black. It's a I forget now. I'm forgetting now. It's escaping me because I was almost certain it was Fred, but I'm thinking that it's Frank because he had a prescription with the name on it too. So Frank, it is Frank. Thank you for always. So it's Frank Black. So yeah, probably Diddy sued them that he would book rooms under, get medication, so people didn't know that it was Diddy. I got the key to the city. They ain't know it was him. So, let's get back into this. So is that what Cassie told you? Correct. Yes. Now you testified on direct that I believe you said that. Well, bless you for this first time meeting with Cassie. Maybe he sneezed. Meeting with this Cassie, you got a call from your boss. Is that correct? Frank Black like Frank White. Hey, my goodness. I don't know if I got a call from him or if I called him, but we did have a conversation after that. Yes. And you said on direct that the boss told you that somebody wanted to use a black male stripper, correct? That was what my boss told me upon going down to the hotel. Okay. Your boss told you that someone called the service wanting a black male stripper, correct? Yes or no? Yes, that is correct. And the boss told you that, according to you, that there was no other black male strippers available, correct? Correct. And so he called you because you are a black male, correct? Correct. But you're not a stripper, correct? I'm not. You are not a stripper at this time, correct? No. You were not a dancer at that time, were you? I occasionally would do it when we needed help. So, and you said your boss told you to go to Grand Marcy Hotel, correct? Sir, isn't it actually fact that Cassie Ventura called you on that first incident and told you to come to the Grand Marcy Hotel? That is incorrect. Isn't it a fact that Cassie told you to come to the Grand Marcy Hotel and ask for a person named Black later on, but not to the Grand Marcy Park Hotel? No. Isn't it true that Cassie called you on the phone and told you that I'm celebrating something for my birthday and my husband wants to give me something special? Isn't that correct. That is not what he said. I remember that. That's not what he said. Child, that is not correct. Would you like me? No, I don't. I cut him off. He said no, because he's going to ask him, do you want me? Would you like me to clear that up? Because that's not what he said. He did not say that. He said when he got there, she came to the door in a red wig and some dark glasses, and she told him at that time that would you mind? Because it's just going to be us. And my husband is in the room, and it's his birthday, and I'm trying to give him. Child, it's just child. They tried it. So okay, Mr. Don, sir, you could put up 3501 3570-01 for the parties only. Could you go to page 2, please? Isn't it true that you spoke to law enforcement officers? Your Honor, this shouldn't be up on the screen, I believe, while Mr. Donaldson is asking these questions. Take it off. Mr. Donaldson says, take it off. Take it off first. Is it true that you spoke to a law enforcement officer on December 18th of 2023 about this matter? I don't know if that was the day, but I did speak with law enforcement agents about this matter, yes. In December of 2023, correct? I don't recall if that was the day. But not the exact day, but did you speak to them in December of 2023? How about that? Oh, okay. So they should have listen, take it down. Objection. Cause you need to that tone. Your tone is a bit much, Mr. Donaldson. Okay. So I believe so, yes. And when you spoke to them on December 2023, they asked you questions about this incident, correct? Correct. They asked you questions about your relationship with Cassie Ventura, correct? Correct. And they asked you about you meeting with her, correct? Correct. And they asked you about you meeting with her on the first occasion, correct? Correct. And you gave them answers to those questions, correct? Correct. They asked you questions about how you met with her, correct? Correct. And the details about how you met with her, correct? Correct. And this isn't true. On December 23rd, when you met with these officers, you told them that you spoke on the phone with the client, a woman, and was told to report to the Gramercy Park Hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning and tell the front desk you were there to see somebody named Mr. Black. Did you not tell them back in December 2023? They may have written the notes that way, but that is not what I told them, because that's not how that happened. No. I would have been like, excuse me? So you're saying the agents that you spoke to may have written the notes? Strike that. Could we put this up on the screen now, just for the parties? Just for the parties, just for the parties. All right. Mr. Phillip, I'm showing you a document from December 18th of 2023. There is a part highlighted at the top. Now, on this particular day, is it not true that you spoke to the officers, the agents, and told them that you spoke on the phone to the client, a woman, and was told to report to the Gramercy Park Hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning and tell the front desk that you were there to see Mr. Black? Correct. So you did speak to a woman. She told you that, correct? I did not speak with Cassie. No, not that day. Not before I went to the hotel the first time. So that may have been misunderstood. Now, when you got to the hotel room, when you got to the hotel, I believe you said, according to you on your direct, you arrived at the front door and I believe you knocked on the door. Is that fair to say? Correct. When you knocked on the door, someone answered the door. Is that fair to say? Correct. This person that answered the door was a beautiful woman with that. Be fair to say? Correct. And you recall that in your mind, there was a beautiful woman opening the door, correct? You see what I'm saying? Like you just asked this question. Why is you going to ask the same question in a different way? But it is the same daggone question. And at that point, prior to you, well, strike that. You hadn't talked to her about money, correct? You didn't talk to her about how much you would get paid for coming there, correct? She brought it up to me. So when you knocked on her door, Cassie brought up to you something about money, correct? Correct. And that is before you had X. Correct. So then at that point, Cassie gave you money, correct? Yes, correct. Correct. So as soon as you knocked on the door, she opened the door, you had a conversation about what? You're asking me? Yes. When you opened, sure. You knocked on the door, right? Sure. Is that correct? That is correct. Yeah, he's trying to trip him up. He's trying to trip him up for always, for sure. She opened the door, correct? Correct. You saw a beautiful woman there, correct? She, as in Cassie, right? Yes. Yes, correct. Then you just asked him that twice. And then now let's get the image right. You were in the hallway, correct? Yes, correct. She's in the door, correct? Correct. And at that moment, she hands you money. She invites me into the hotel room. I go into the room. She closes the door behind me. And then she says to me, your boss told me that I have to give you $200 upon your arrival here. And I said, correct. And then she handed me about 4,000 or somewhere around that in that ballpark. $4,000 roughly. And this is before any oil rubbing, correct? Yes, correct. Before any hugging, is that correct? That is correct. Before any kissing, is that correct? Correct. This is before an agreement about what you're going to do, correct? Correct. So before you had an agreement about X and an agreement about rubbing oil, agreement about my husband being pleasure, Cassie Ventura just handed you 4,000 in cash. First off, we never had an agreement about X. We'll get to that. Before you have any agreements about anything, Cassie Ventura hands you $4,000. That is correct. Now, she was standing in, I believe you said lingerie. Correct. She had on heels. Correct. Correct. She was just lingerie, heels, and wig. Correct. And a pair of dark glasses. Don't forget the glasses, because that's what he said. Yeah, yeah. Going back to what Paul always said, you're trying to trip him up. Um, and a pair of dark glasses, correct. Where did the money come from? Are you asking me who gave me the money? No, I'm asking when she was standing at the door with lingerie on, panties, bra, heels, wig, and shades. Was she holding a bag of money? She had the money in her hand. She had the money in her hand. Yes. She opened the door with the money in her hand. Yes. And at that point, I believe you said you looked to strike that. After you got the money, then you looked to the right and saw a man sitting in the chair. That is incorrect. You looked to the left and saw the man sitting in the chair. After she handed me the money, we walked into the room fully past the hall, past the little hallway that was there, toward the couch that was in front of us with the candles and everything on it. And I looked to the left, and on the right side of the room, if I'm facing Mr. Combs was sitting in the chair with a robe on, hat, and a bandana over his face. Okay. And at that point, you're past the hallway. You're standing. Are you standing near the couch? I'm sorry. Are you standing near a couch? There's a couch in front of me, yes. And you're standing near this couch. And Mr. Combs, you're saying is to your left, or to your right. If I'm facing the couch, yes. Mr. Combs would be in the room to the left. The living room is to the left of me. Once I turn left and face forward toward the open room, Mr. Combs would be sitting on the right side of the room in the back of the room. All right. And I believe you said on direct, he wasn't saying anything. Correct. At that moment, no. Now, while you are standing there with Cassie, and after you received the money, you are going to start rubbing baby oil on her, correct? Correct. She began rubbing baby oil on you, correct? Correct. And this is while she still had on her lingerie, correct? At that point, at some point, our clothes were off. She wasn't rubbing baby oil on me with my clothes on. Let's walk through it. Sure. So you get in there, I'm sorry, I forget this part. You are wearing a New York City Police Department shirt, correct? That's correct. Y'all, I cannot. Not the New York City Police Department shirt. But that's what like sometimes they come to bachelorette party strippers in the police uniforms, the fireman uniforms, and all that. Now or the New York, the NYPD. All right, y'all. So so your boss told you wait a minute. So yes, if you don't, yes or no, if you don't mind, could you please talk into the microphone? I can hardly hear you when you step away. I'm sorry. Your boss told you that you, the dancer, need to be wearing a new. Wait a minute. That is the witness said, could you please stay in front of the microphone? I can't hear you while you trying to walk around and do all that. Could you stay put? Could you stay put? Stop moving around. You trying to say stuff all low. I need to hear everything you saying. You trying to trip me up. No, you're not gonna trip me up. Stay in front of the microphone. I wish more witnesses would say that in the courtroom. Can you just stay in front of the microphone so I can hear you and not just a walk away? Because you can't tell me that it's not purposely done. Sometime by the prosecution in the YSL trial, sometime in, it's done by the defense team. So yeah. So the witness like, look, get it together. Stand in front of the microphone so I can hear you. Okay. He gonna say, I'm sorry. Your boss told you that you, the dancer, needed to be wearing a New York City Police Department uniform, correct? That is correct. You couldn't find one, correct? That is correct. So you went out and you bought a t-shirt, yes. And then you went to Grand Marcy Hotel wearing the New York City Police Department t-shirt, correct. When you got inside the hotel after you got the money, you had to take that off to get the oil rubbed on you, correct? That's correct. And you took the oil off in front of Cassie, or you went someplace else to do that. I took the oil off. Get him, witness. I'm sorry. You took the shirt off in front of Cassie. I took my clothes off in front of Cassie, yes. So at that moment, you got the money. You then took off all your clothes, correct? At the moment I got the money, I did not take off all of my clothes. After you got the money, you had a conversation first. She walked me into the hotel room. And then after she had already explained to me, hey, listen, it's my birthday. I want you to know to do this instead of the dance, the bachelorette party. That doesn't even make sense. So I want you to rub baby oil on me, rub me down, give me a massage, and wherever things go from there, whatever you're comfortable with, we can do. And so I told her I was comfortable with giving her that massage and rubbing her down. And I asked her if she wanted me to be the same, like to remove my clothes as well. And so I stripped down as well to my underwear. Okay, so you stripped down to your underwear, correct? And at that point, okay, now you have your underwear on, and at that point, she is rubbing baby oil on you. I'm rubbing her down, and then she starts doing the same to me, and it started getting intimate, and we stopped right there. Sure. When you say it started getting intimate, you mean that you're rubbing her down, you're rubbing her breast, you're rubbing her whole body down, correct? After she started touching me, yes, I started touching her erotically as well. And at that point, Mr. Combs in the corner, he's not said anything, correct? No, he was in the corner pleasuring himself immediately. Lord, take the wheel home. So, and at that point, Mr. Combs in the corner, he's not saying anything, correct? Oh, we said that already. I'm not going to say that again. Okay. And while Cassie is rubbing you down, it appears that she is enjoying herself. Would that be fair to say? Yes. And you are rubbing her down and you're enjoying yourself, correct? Yes. And then that's why you're saying it started getting intimate, correct? Correct. Allie, yes, it is. Like, it's too much. Because you started getting actually aroused, correct? Absolutely, yes. And it appeared to you that she was getting actually aroused, correct? Yes. And it appeared to you that she wanted more than just a rub down, correct? Yes. And at some point, she took off your underwear, correct? I took off my underwear. You took off your underwear, correct? Correct. And after you took off your underwear, I imagine at that point, she is still rubbing you down, correct? We're rubbing each other down. Well, we'll get to that. She was rubbing you down after you took off your underwear, correct? Correct. Where is Lord? And she started massaging your private Privates, correct? I don't recall like the particulars of how that happened. I just know we ended up having X. Okay. So you didn't have X standing up, correct? No. So after you're standing up, rubbing each other down, you then move to another part of the room, correct? We basically were where we had X the whole time. We were by the couch. We had X on the couch. Okay, so after you were standing up, you then laid her down on the couch. Is that fair to say? Correct. And then actual penetration occurred for, I believe you said, well, not believe, for approximately 30 minutes, correct? No. The first time that was probably the most beautiful woman I had seen. That was fast. Oh, Lord. So he said when he first saw her, he was a 1 minute man. All right. Got it. Got it. Okay. So when you say the most beautiful woman you've seen, that caused you to uh bust off fast, right? Yeah. And then after you did that, you, well, strike that. Were you on top of her or behind her at this point? I cannot believe this is should be yes. This is 50 Shades plus. Objection. Objection. But what fit child? This is 50 Shades plus. This is too 50 Shades of Grey wasn't a true story. But was it based on, was it based, I don't even think it was based on a true story. Child. Excuse me, y'all. Child. It is too much. So okay, for always, I don't know why he asking about, because they need to see, is he standing behind something? Because he might be a little. Listen, I don't know why he asking about. It wasn't did she put her love on top or not? I don't know. So I have and then after that, you did that. You, well, strike that. Were you on top or behind her at this point? I have no idea what time frame during this you're referring to. This could be at any point in the interaction. On the first, you're talking about time you had actual relations with Cassie Ventura. Sure. In the Grand Marcy Hotel, after you received the 2000, were you on top of her, behind her? What happened? Are you asking when I bust off? Yes. What position I had her in? I asked that. It was a missionary position. Okay. So after the missionary position, you got up and then you decided to leave, correct? I was told that we were done and I could get dressed now. I didn't just decide to leave. Now, at that point in time, because you were still working for the service, you knew you were not engaging in prostitution. Yeah, just when you think you heard it all, it gets worse and more detailed. And why? Yeah, the details is just like, so correct. I didn't know what the heck just happened. I was in complete shock and just was like, did that just happen? I wouldn't have thought twice to think that that was prostitution. Okay, and then you left the hotel, correct? Correct. And then within 5 minutes, you got a call from Cassie, correct? That is correct. And at that time, Cassie asked you, could you come back and have another bus off, correct? Correct. And you said, absolutely, correct? Correct. And she said, give me 30 minutes to take a shower, correct? No, I don't recall that. You don't recall what? I don't recall her saying, give me 30 minutes to take a shower. Okay. It's possible she said that. I don't recall though. Okay. She also asked you to send her a pic of your privates, correct? That is correct. And she also informed you that you had the largest private she had ever seen before. Correct? That is correct. Oh, Lord. So, what does that say about Diddy? Lord, what does that say about Diddy? What does that say about Diddy? All right, so that's go back to the first time. So the first time you were having X with her, you were not only aroused at her beauty, she was aroused at the size of your privates. Correct. Miss Comey says, objection, Your Honor. I can't say that. That is sustained. She was commenting to you on the size of your privates, correct? Yes. Diddy. Diddy, yeah. While you were having X the first time, correct? Yes. And then after you left the hotel, she texted you asking you for a picture of your privates, correct? Correct. Now that she could have been asking him for that picture for Diddy. Yeah. Let's not act like she couldn't have been asking for the picture for Diddy. All right, now, so I cannot speculate that. I have no idea if Sean Combs asked her for that picture or not. That's the same thing I'm saying. She cannot say whether or not did he ask for the picture, told her to ask for the picture, or she asked for it on her own. Diddy's a creep. So, objection. Move to strike, Mr. Donaldson says. The court, hold on. That motion is granted. The jury should disregard the witness's last answer. We're at 5:00. If you one more or two questions, I'm happy to hear them. But otherwise, we can start again in the morning. Mr. Donaldson, we can start again in the morning. Judge, the court. Thank you. Members of the jury, for your time today. We are ending right at 5 p.m. as promised. So, again, I'm going to tell you this every day. Do not talk to each other about the case. Do not look up anything about this case. Do not try to talk to anyone outside this courtroom about the case. And definitely do not talk to anyone here about this case. No one inside the courtroom or outside of the courtroom is to have any discussions with members of the jury whatsoever. With that, have a great evening. We'll see you here at 9:15. If you're here at 9:15, we can get started on time and make efficient use of our time together. All right. All rise. The jury is not present. The court says. That is correct, Allie. Too late. He said what he said, and I heard what I heard, and cannot vacate it from my brain. What? Wait, did he just say what he said? Yeah, he did. So the court, Mr. Phillip, you understand that you are still under oath. So be back here tomorrow to resume your testimony. You are not to have any communications whatsoever with anyone on the government side. Now, is there, Ms. Comey says, may I know a request of exception to that? Agents are providing for his security, transportation from court and to court. Again tomorrow. They have been instructed not to discuss his testimony or the case and only the logistics of transportation. Is that acceptable, Your Honor? That is acceptable. Any objection from the defense? I'm not hearing any. No, Your Honor. Okay, so except for that, no other discussions of any kind are there. Are they here to escort him? They are here to escort him. The case agent can escort him out. Your Honor, before you let the witness go. So now this is that was Mr. Agnafilo. So Ms. Shapiro from the defense side. Before you let him go, Ms. Shapiro is attorney for is on the defense side as well. Can we raise an issue at the sidebar? The court says yes. And here we go. Sidebar. And why it's important to get into these transcripts. officially from the court. But remember, there was a lady that said Diddy is the size of a Tootsie Roll. Yes, the Tootsie Roll, that Tootsie Roll, that didn't come up. We didn't get to that one yet, but I think it comes up. So yeah, so right there at the beginning, with him. And thanks to the defense for bringing that up, because now when the Tootsie Roll part comes up, you got Diddy out here looking like
somebody that suffers from a little guy, and he was turned on because this man's privates were bigger than his.
All right, so we're on the sidebar, and here we go with that. I apologize, Your Honor. I was not at the sidebar, so we weren't able to communicate with one another about the issue of whether the witness could speak to his lawyer during cross examination. Ms. Shapiro, they already went over this. Read the transcripts, girl. All right. And we would request that Your Honor direct him not to do so under Perry versus Lee. Girl, they already handled this. What are you talking about? They already handled this sidebar because you wasn't there. That's too bad. They already ruled on this. But let's see what they say. So under Perry versus Leak 488 U.S. 272, it's clear that this is a case involving actually the defendant as a witness, in which the Supreme Court held that even a defendant who obviously has the right to counsel may be instructed not to meet with his lawyer to discuss the substance of his testimony during his testimony. So this just means that Diddy's team is not on the same page, because the other attorney did say we have no issue with that, and we do agree that if he asked to speak to his attorney because he may be able to be getting ready to say something that he shouldn't, that he should be allowed. So now here she is on sidebar bringing up this same thing again because she wasn't present, and here now she is bringing a case which they already ruled on, which I'm praying and hoping that that's what he tells her. Because y'all should have brought this up. We already went over this. This judge is no nonsense. So let's see what he does. Thank you for that, Allie. Put up there. Support your girls. Support my book. I have a book out. There is the link. Thank you so much for dropping that link in the chat, Allie. So let's see what he says. So it's clear that this is a case involving actually the defendant as a witness, in which the Supreme, we read that already. So, and that's true for all the reasons everyone understands that having to do with the truth-seeking function of the trial. So we will request that this witness and other government witnesses be directed not to speak to anyone about the substance of their testimony, including their counsel during the trial. Your Honor, I think that case is distinguishable because a defendant in a criminal case, their counsel would be party for an opposing, would be counsel for an opposing party. So that would be the justification for that restriction. I'm not aware of any case law justifying telling a third party who is represented by counsel but does not represent a party in the litigation that they cannot communicate with their counsel. I have not had the opportunity to research this issue. I would be happy to read quotes from the case. The court explains that when it talks about the rights of the defendant and why it says neither he nor his lawyer have a right to have the testimony interrupted in order to give him the benefit of counsel's advice. The reason for the rule, this is at page 281, is that one that applies to all witnesses, not just defendants. It is a common practice for a judge to instruct the witness not to discuss his or her testimony with third parties until the trial is completed. Such non-disclosures orders are corollary of the broader rule that witnesses may be sequestered to lessen the danger that their testimony would be influenced by hearing what other witnesses have to say, and to increase the likelihood they will confine themselves to truthful statements based on their own recollection. And then the court goes on to talk about the defendant, and when he assumes the role of a witness, the rule is that generally apply to other witnesses, rules that serve the truth-seeking function. Do you want me to just show it to you, Judge? Yes. Miss Shapiro, sorry. The court, sorry. This is old school. Your Honor, I'll just note that the distinction I think here is that this counsel does not represent a third party. The counsel represents him. So again, I have not read the case. The court, is his attorney here? Ms. Comey, may I go get her and invite her to join us? The court, yes. Ms. Shapiro, I will say also that I have had other cases in which this has come up, and other trial judges have issued this type of direction. If anything, the defendant's rights, one would think, to consult with his counsel would be that of a greater witness who was not a party to the case. And I thought they already handled this, and my thing to them would have been, we already handled this. But I guess because they didn't have any case to reference, maybe he's entertaining it. But let's go. So the court, good afternoon. So his attorney's name is Miss Parlovecchio. I hope I ain't jacked it up. Good afternoon, Your Honor. The court, could you identify yourself for the record? Miss Parlovecchio, my name is Gina Parlovecchio, Parlovecchio. The court, we're planning to have any discussions with your client between this evening and tomorrow when his testimony resumes. The court, were you planning to have any discussions with your client between this evening and tomorrow when his testimony resumes? No, Your Honor. Is there any issue with him not having any communications with you? Not that I'm aware of. Problem solved for now. We could actually address this issue in a more deliberate fashion. Thank you, Your Honor. So I'll give him an instruction here that he's not to have any discussions with you, and we'll pick the issue up tomorrow. I still think that it should be an instruction that he shouldn't be able to talk to his attorney after they leave today. But if on the stand they ask him a question and he needs to consult with them just to make sure. I don't know, because that's how that was the vote earlier, and both sides agreed. So I'm confuzzled, but I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. I'm just, your favorite breast cancer survivor, reading true crime buff, reading these court documents so that we can get, a verbatim about what happened inside the courtroom. All right, so let's go. Mr. Phillip, yes. When I said you're not to have any discussions with anyone else, that also includes you're a lawyer. So you're not to have any discussions with the lawyer or with any counsel for the government. Anyone from the government side, with the only exception that you are obviously going to be escorted by the folks at the agency. So do you understand that? Yes. The court, all right. Your Honor, would it be permissible for his lawyer to explain to him why, or for Your Honor to explain to him why he can't speak with his lawyer? I think this might be new information to the witness, and I want him to understand why. The court, well, I'm giving him the instruction. Ms. Comey, thank you. The reason is that while you're testifying, it's like you're here in the courtroom and your testimony is continuing. And the reason why we tell witnesses that they are not allowed to speak to other people is you might just be able to figure this out. It's so that you don't have discussions that might influence your testimony and that might change your testimony in a way that would be kind of change the facts up, which would be prejudicial once you started testifying. Is the usual course we always tell people. In the usual course, we always tell people don't have discussions with anyone about your testimony while it's ongoing. That's the reason why I'm giving you that instruction. Do you understand, or do you have any questions? I understand, no, but I had asked you prior. Oh, he better bring it up. You better bring it up that you asked. And that the court had allowed it, and both sides said that it was fine if he had a question to ask his attorney while he was on the stand, that they would take a break. You better bring it up, witness. Okay, now, sir. I get it once he leaves the stand for the day. I get it. He didn't ask to speak to an attorney, but he did speak to his attorney on the break. So he didn't have any further questions because they asked the attorney, she was in the room, do you need to speak to him at this time? She said, no, I spoke to him. It wasn't anything that she was concerned with. Okay, so the witness better make sure that they know, because nobody said it already, that didn't we do this already? But I do get what, I do understand not talking to the attorney once the day ends. Okay, so let's go. I understand, no, but I had asked you prior. You started it. You asked me. It was a good question. I'm glad you asked that question. If other questions like that come up, you can definitely raise them with me. Sure. But that was during his testimony. So there's a difference. Okay. So, I like this judge so far. So, so far, he gets a check with me with this right here. He should have sat Mr. Shapiro down. That's your fault. We already ruled on this. We already ruled on this, and I understand. Okay, so you're just coming to us to let us know that while he's leaving for the day, he's not to consult with the attorney. We get that. But she's talking about when he's on the stand, and they already said that they've always allowed people like witnesses to consult with their, attorney if they ask. When they're listen, child. Anyway, let's just read the court documents. We had an inquiry and a discussion, and that's what led to this instruction. The witness, no problem. But he talking about earlier, Judge. All right. So I appreciate you doing that. No problem. See you here at 9:30, and you can leave the stand at this time. Please be seated. Mr. Donaldson, again, just a ballpark. What are you envisioning for time duration of your cross-examination? Probably an hour. Sorry, an hour. An hour. Yes. We'll have an hour of cross-examination. Don't hold me to that. Hopefully an hour. Why hopefully? Hopefully an hour? Why are you hoping and wishing and hoping what? I'm going to loosely hold you to that. Very good. You're talking to the judge. Are you talking to the judge? One of the benefits of having ended in the middle of your cross-examination is gives you the evening. Oh, wait, okay. Wait a minute. Here this judge. Okay, wait, okay. Here go one for the judge. All right, because I see where he going with this. One of the benefits of having ended in the middle of your cross-examination is it gives you the evening to tighten things up so that you can do it in a more efficient and effective manner. You better go. You better tell them. You better school them. Now, this is a $10 million legal team. You better get it together tonight for tomorrow's testimonies. Now, you better tell them. Miss Comey, I assume we'll have some redirects, so we'll be in a position to move forward with Miss Ventura in the morning. Yes, Your Honor. All right. Anything further that the government would like to raise at this time? I think we wanted to ask if we can come back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to address potential evidentiary issues that might come up during Ms. Ventura's testimony. I think the parties are still meeting and conferring about some exhibits and hoping to resolve them. But there may be some that we can't resolve. And so we are hoping to come back tomorrow morning to raise those with Your Honor so that we don't have to cover them while she's on the stand. The court, absolutely. When are we going to hear about what the issues are tonight? May I defer to Ms. Johnson, Your Honor? Is 8 o'clock doable or 10 o'clock? I'll give you those two. I'm negotiating against myself, which is bad, but 10 o'clock. But 10 o'clock. I think 10 o'clock should be acceptable, Your Honor. We're talking about some rule of completeness issues, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve those with the court without the court's intervention. All right. We'll advise the court by 10 p.m. That's fine. So we'll be here at 9 to deal with any outstanding issues that may come up during Ms. Ventura's testimony. Anything further from the government? No, Your Honor. We're going to research the issue that Ms. Shapiro raised, and if we have any contrary law, we'll raise it to Your Honor. Have the parties discussed Rule 615 and the exclusion of witnesses? Has that come up? I believe that we emailed Your Honor. There was some email traffic with Your Honor's chambers about that. I believe the parties agreed witnesses would be removed from the courtroom until their testimony is complete. And is it just the courtroom, or does that include access to transcripts? I think it includes access to transcripts, Your Honor. All right. So there are there. So is there any agreement there, Mr. Agnifilo? Yes, there is an agreement, Your Honor. I'll count on the parties to police that. And if there are any issues, let me know. Yes, Your Honor, the court. The only other thing to raise, and then I'll turn to Mr. Agnifilio, is that I think the overflow feed is an overhead view of the council tables. I don't believe it's close enough to see what you're doing. Just be mindful of that when you're working. If you're writing really big, there is a chance at least someone might see it. I'm just doing that for your benefit, but I think it should be okay. The other thing for everyone else is that there should be no attempt, especially within this courthouse, in any way, shape, or form to depict or otherwise make attempts to identify any of the jurors. If that happens, there will be serious consequences. So don't do it. All right, Mr. Agnifilo. The one issue that I raised earlier, I think it's beneficial for all witnesses that we continue the way we have handled the last witness today. In other words, the witness comes, gets in the witness chair, is ready to go, and then we bring the jury in. So I would just like to continue the way we've gone with this witness. That's my request. Well, we'll be doing that, but just as we did with both of these witnesses, when they came into the courtroom, they walked in. Let them know. So that is what we will be doing with the remaining witnesses, unless you have some authority that suggests different treatment is appropriate in this context. So first of all, Cassie came out and got out of the car with her husband. Paparazzi, everybody got their phone out. The content creators. All the people outside, hey, Cassie, you look beautiful. Congratulations on the baby. Oh, you deserve happiness. Oh, I guess the jurors aren't out there. But they trying to they argue that Cassie should be on the stand and not be able to walk in because she's with child. Stop. All right. So now when we break for lunch and we come back from lunch, the witness will be seated, just as we did with Mr. Phillip and with Mr. Flores. Mr. Agnifilo, if I do find I haven't had the chance, that means that you need to not be going out drinking during this trial after the day is over. Get to work, my boy. Chop, chop, get to work. Listen, a $10 million defense team. We don't care. Get to work. All right. So where were we? All right. So if I do find I haven't had the chance, if I find authority before 10 o'clock tonight, that will be the witching hour for all purposes. The witching hour. All right. Go on ahead. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure everyone gets rest. If I don't put a deadline in, it will be 2 o'clock in the morning. All right. Anything further? Shade. The shade, Judge. The shade. Nothing from us. Ms. Shapiro, sorry. Just this sort of obvious, but just with regard to the Rule 615, experts are excluded. So we've been assuming we can share transcripts with experts. The court, yes. We are adjourned. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Your Honor. And that's it for day number 1. Right. She's pregnant, not disabled. And so I'm probably not going to go I don't know. I'm looking for something else. So before we start day number 2, that is it for this transcript. So let me for day 1. We're done with day 1. So up next is you have this witness coming back. It's going to be on the stand on day number 2. And then you have the beautiful, lovely Miss Cassie Ventura, who will be taking the stand. And I'm so proud of her. And Unlike the other people that think that Cassie should not be extended grace, I am not one of those people. And, it was a lot for her to go through. And some people just don't want to remove the celebrity of what they are used to. So they have on the blinders and listen to the law and what the law is. Because what has already been testified to on the stand by this witness, which I'm trying to, so he's not the witness that was in the intercontinental room because they didn't ask no questions about it. He was at the intercontinental. Now, I heard another content creator say that this witness was a witness that was in the intercontinental room. So that's why it's important that, I go over these transcripts and see them, the official transcripts myself. Because according to the testimony so far, it wasn't answered by the prosecution or by the defense. And I'm pretty sure that that's a question that they would have asked early on the prosecution side and the defense. Now, he did say that he did meet them one time at the Intercontinental, but they mentioned nothing about that incident that we all saw in that hallway at the elevator. So that's it for today. I will post when I will be going live, and it's going to show the that it's going to be about this case day 2. So I will post about that and let you know a time. So right now I don't know. I don't think that I highly doubt if I'm going to go live tomorrow because I have some things going on, but we'll see because I wanted to I don't have the paperwork yet, but I wanted to get the full court docs for the case against that was brought against Diddy and Umbrella Man, Farnsworth Bentley. I want to get the full documents. Exactly. For always, all the notes are great, but the transcripts are thorough, and that's why we're reading them because there are some things that I have clarity on and clarified that were, reported in a different way. But nonetheless, we do appreciate all of the content creators that are, and maybe on another channel. I don't know. I watch a couple, but on videos, sometimes ones there was different information that was provided. So, and I did hear that this was the guy that was in the room. The first escort testifying was the guy that was in the room at the Intercontinental. If that was the case, they would have asked him way more questions than what they asked him on the prosecution side. So he was there at the Intercontinental, but not on that day, according to what we've heard so far on day 1. And like I said, the prosecution would definitely have asked him about that because that would prove that part of their case, that there was a man in the room on that day. All right. So I'm going to end this video the way I end all of my videos by bringing awareness that men can get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma surrounding the word breast, we have changed the word to peck and or chest cancer over here on the Survivor Speaks channel. So let's continue to break that the stigma surrounding that word breast and keep bringing awareness to the fact that men can get breast cancer too. Right? And to moms, please remember to get your mammograms fill on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anybody come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. Shout out to Allie and for always for holding me down. Thank you guys so much for the interaction in the chat. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next live or video. Thank you so much for always. Thank you for that. Thank you. I don't know why this thing is why it's saying here. I see it's saying that it okay, here we go. How is this back up here? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. So yeah, it had turned on. It just turned off. Thank you so much for always for advising me of that. I love it, love it, love it. And I will definitely let you guys know when we'll be back. And I'll see you guys in the next live video, live stream, or who knows, I might do a video about something and put it up. And if I do, it will show as it will, be on YouTube as a premiere. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you all for coming and rocking out with me, and to everybody over on X, formerly known as Twitter. It would be great if you guys would come on over here on the YouTube side. Hit that like button and subscribe, because we're trying to get to 4,000 4K subscribers. We're this close. We are this close. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. And
Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. It's just hard if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over clear to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor, Speak. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time